What is up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki coming at you with another Church of MHA Season 3, Episode 22 stream. It's been a while. We had that nice jump and break, left off on a heart-wrenching note, and we're back now. Let me know how y'all been doing these last 2 weeks. Finished my last day at that old job yesterday. Starting new heights soon enough. Let's see. Make sure everybody in the Discord knows it's time to be out here. Luckily, this week, the combination of utilizing media preview and some other stuff should be stopping me from getting spoiled. I saw something weird, and somebody tried to tag me in something telling me I was right, but I don't know exactly what that was right about, so it's all good there. Because, you know, I don't miss all the time, so let's see. Hey, all right, Tiger Blast just first one in. Let's go. Yes, I want to send this message to 300 people. All right, got people coming in, everybody filing in one by one. Fill them digital pews, my people. Now, we had a lot of conversation about whether Bakugou is staying or Bakugou. Hey, Brandon De La Cruz, Mr. Andrew, Austin Morgan, and S. Little, names I'm recognizing. It's good to see my regulars pulling up. So with where we left off last week, or not last week, but last chapter, I'm kind of hoping for a perspective shift. Let's see, the desktop chapters aren't up yet, but there's a lot of times where stuff is available on my phone a couple minutes before it's available on the website. So let's see what's happening here. What's gonna happen? Let's see. Ghostbusters. I'm sorry. Let's see. My Hero Academia. Yep. Chapters available on the phone, but not the desktop. Let's refresh this one more time to see if. All right, there we go. Got desktop access. Prefer reading on the desktop over holding my phone while I'm talking to you guys. All right, Mello. Let's see. Jayla Bexley, Nafis is in the building. Chikire, Denzel. Okay. My people here. And J. Michael Holmes, Tobufu, that one guy. All right, yep. Zeke Khan, Tyler Hawk, Julian. Okay, yep, my people here. Y'all, oh, the Coogan's here too. All right. I could tell this is a good chapter because whenever we hit that 30 number in like 2 minutes, that's when we really got something cooking. I feel that, Tyler. All right, so we hopping onto the chapter. We hopping right in. Oh, we're starting off. I made a pledge that I will achieve absolute victory every time. We're taking this 4-0, no casualties. The strong don't settle for anything less. Oof. Monoma thinking back on Bakugou's conviction. See, this is one of those things that I've always liked about Monoma and Bakugou. They have this kind of classic rivalry that I feel we don't really talk about a lot just because they're not always in close proximity to each other, but there's this genuine acknowledgement that comes out of the way that Monoma approaches Bakugou. And when you think back to the 4th round specifically, it was not that he thought any of them could physically beat Bakugou. He thought they could specifically utilize some of his character flaws, and he was expecting that to be the path to victory over him, not necessarily surpassing him in raw skill or power. So that's Hori keeping that consistency and honoring the feelings that Monoma has kind of had and shown for him this whole time. I like that. I like Hori remembering that he kind of built that up. You know, this is kind of one of the first people who was willing to challenge Bakugou. And if you think about it, there's part, like, I wouldn't be surprised if I turn this page and he has a flashback to Sports Festival, but it doesn't have to happen, obviously. But if you recall, he was like, he straight up told Bakugou, you know, you're always the victim. back then. So that like saying something like that to him could easily be like kind of playing through his head right now and realizing how those words came to fruition in a way that he probably never truly wanted. No way, it wasn't meant to go like this. This can't be. No pulse. All right, and we just see a bunch of Shigaraki's flesh. Bakugou's eyes are closing. No pulse, his heart is ravaged. If nothing else, until Midoriya shows up, we'll protect everyone. This time, he's truly dead. Yeah, Mirio is not happy with this. Since you took a back seat this round, you turned out to be quite a letdown eraser. Man, now then, this utter monster. Who's next? And taking that shot at Eraser after maiming him and basically making it so that his quirk doesn't function. Notice he's got eyes growing again on his body. So basically anything that gets damaged, the body is going to try to find a way around or supplement it. So who wants to be another present for Izuku Midoriya? Back then, if only I could have murdered you. If only I'd been one hop faster. Uh-oh. This is looking like a dead hero. Aw, don't let it eat at you, Rumi Usagayama. There were so many heroes around at the time. You were hardly the only failure. Heroes are a rare breed now, and the instant you had no choice but to throw the whittled rookies onto the front lines, you condemned some to die. Oof. Oof. You took the initiative and gave it your best, but you didn't come with enough people or plans. Let's see. Oh, and there's Ida and Shoto. Given how this worked out, is that Onigumo? I think that's the Onigumo. I think one of Endeavor's sidekicks is getting cooked. Given how this worked out, it's actually great I fought you first. Experiencing something yourself just hits differently. Intuition helps when getting the idea of how it works. Run, Shoto. Right before you put me in a block of ice, I took a chance and mimicked your big move. Am I doing it right, Shoto? So now I understand why that person tagged me and said I was right. Which, if you're watching this going forward, remember I don't read spoilers or scans, so don't tag me to tell me I'm right about things until the day a chapter is officially out. Dabi. So one of the things that we talked about is specifically in that MHA space that I hosted, that is why I'm saying it from now on, we will make sure that any MHA space I hold is going to be recorded. So I'll put those episodes, those podcast episodes on here, probably call it like MHA in Space or Church of MHA in Space. And then that'll be the title of those podcast episodes. But the thing that I talked about was how Dabi specifically was getting covered in ice. And one of the things that was worth noting is that Dabi's heart was the thing that was glowing. And it was stated that Shoto's heart was what was necessary or what was needed in order to properly circulate the cold and hot blood through his body and allow him to do that, like, you know, the X thing and have the heat and fire. And with Dabi having a body that is physically similar to Rei Todoroki, then it made sense that if he was coated in ice, that he would finally be able to tap into that, especially because he had pieces of flesh actually breaking off and burning. That ice was directly connected to his bloodstream. And so from that perspective, it made sense to have, he had cooled blood being able to run through. And if he really tried to, he would be able to, you know, cycle that through. The handcuffs on Dabi were giant blocks of ice. And I don't think they have like actual quirk deactivating things. And the most you have is like the Iron Maidens, which are like full body restraints. But That's not the same as being able to just straight up have like a power off collar, like you have a Young Justice, for example. So yeah, basically Dabi being hyper cooled from the outside would have caused like his blood temperature to drop, which would have forced him or given him the potential, if he was willing to, like he said here, try to figure it out, to replicate Shoto's move, especially with his physiology, finally locking into that other side of his body, meaning he was complete. He just needed an outside catalyst to help him with it. So yeah, just had to establish that. That's so Kashiway, just remember, I don't read spoilers or scans. Yep, Onima. Yep, Onima. No, it wasn't just sheer firepower. This whole time, Toya studied and trained his quirk on his own. My brother's honed instincts are bolstered by his hard work and obsession. Skeptic. I'm busy. Don't pester me, Mr. Daddy Issues. You want Endeavor? He's trading blows with All for One at the Gunga Villa ruins. The eager Izuku Midoriya knew that you can't give villains time to prepare. He was correct to rush the timetables on all this, even if his efforts still would have been in vain. The fools at my company tried to cut me like any other loss. They never did have any brains in those vacant skulls of theirs. Who do they think built this network anyway? Reclaiming his authority is child's play to me. Those intellectual lightweights fled abroad in hopes of keeping the company going. Those dullards prove that conservationism taken too far is the death of critical thinking. I, on the other hand, can adapt. While promoting Tomura Shigaraki's interest, I shall see Redestro's desires realized across the globe. People will wield their meta abilities as equals. No other factor will determine who gets ahead in this world. All will know true freedom and anarchy, marked by the absence of so-called heroes and villains. We've been getting these errors. Someone's trying to hack into the system. All for One. Go on, do as you please, as will I. The drag of old order mustn't survive the revolution, namely those who preach and cling to the teachings of past generations. They are unnecessary to the new world to come. Oh. Uh-oh. So we got the Todoroki family. We got the remedial course kids. Hold on. Behave yourselves, boys. What if a villain were to show up? Don't worry, Sensei. We've got 5 weenies on our side. Bakugou and company as well. They're going to win for sure. And those dissenters. Ooh, boy. Those dissenters are in the same room as them. Which means I'm pretty sure, based on the fact that we're seeing them in like these like underground crates, this is letting us know that I believe Natsuo and the gang, all these kids are currently at Shiketsu. So Shiketsu High students should be popping into this soon. What I do think would be, while it could be tonally, like cause a tonal whiplash depending on how it's executed, it would be kind of nice to see these kids who were, like, oh, they're, ridiculous. Their quirks are as strong as some adults already. If them popping off on these dissenters ends up happening, it can be a little goofy and funny seeming, but it's also kind of like playing into like that fear of the quirk singularity theory while simultaneously having already established a precedent for them to have the willingness to act and fire off, because we know that they have that in them. So if they're willing to do that to protect people, then we're golden. Gunga Mountain Villa ruins. My side was entirely on defense during the last great battle. In fact, I hear you and yours kept them from accomplishing much of anything. This time, not so much. All for One. Ooh. Heroes are those who defend, while villains violate. Behold as we plunge headlong toward our dreams. Oof. Oof. So, that pendulum is penduluming. And yes, please do drop the stream. it helps with the algorithm. The algorithm is wicked and punishes content creators if you guys don't make it a point to like or comment on things. So please keep that in mind anytime you're, interacting with. I gotta get some people up in this call. We gotta get some folks in here. This is let me get my bishops in here because 13 pages is a little short, but we are very much
yeah, you can hear me?
Wow. This is all right, Tarnish. I see you here. What's on your mind?
Yo, first of all, you ain't say the end of the chapter, right? Because he didn't say violate the normal way. He said it the Brooklyn
Tarnish,
way.
I think you got yourself muted.
Am I?
There we go. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, what the hell? Yo, listen, you ain't say it the right way at the end of the chapter. He didn't say while villains violate. He said while villains violate. He said it the Brooklyn way. He said villains violate.
Hell to you. Oh, baby.
True Blue.
Hey, I don't care what y'all talk about. This war is called True Blue. Shout out to Fat Go. It's over. Listen, bro. Listen. There's no discussion about this. He is 100% officially dead.
Woo, yo. Read that super chat for me.
On some, Byakuya, like, death threat bullshit.
Hold up. We got a super chat. All right.
Easy, you're a little low too, my boy.
Yeah. No, Google, I do not want to change my name, comes through and says this. Shoto right now. He copied my whole flow. Word for word. Bar for bar.
Yo, nah, honestly, I gotta give you props on that. Cause you know what I'm saying? When you was talking about the heart stuff, even though I was like, I don't know. But nah, he really did the exact same thing, bro. And I thought it was just gonna be a prominence burn. He said, nah, I'm up. I'm up right now.
No, see.
Yo.
Okay, so do you know why certain theories like that I have like work out so well and people often dismiss them? Because people don't accept that while MHA is a fantasy series, its mechanics and its power system are designed to work upon scientific principles. And it's supposed to be a sci-fi more than it is a fantasy. So anytime someone's physiology is mentioned, you have to expect that to come into play in some form, shape, or way with their quirk. It's kind of like how, like, people forget, and I think one of the earliest signs of this that has always been established is one of the most underappreciated sections of the story, the final exams arc. The second Bakugou, like the second Deku, while using 5% full cowling, he fired off Bakugou's gauntlet.
Broke his shit.
And
Almost.
dislocated his shoulder. That was Hori telling you, while yes, there's some liberties within this stuff, a lot of the same rules of physics apply. So the bigger his explosions got, the stronger his shoulders and things like that had to be, because they have to be able to deal with recoil. So similarly, when you have the characters being established as, like, again, having a body and raised constitution, then it means on some level, if he is around ice, if he is given cold, he should be able to replicate something similar to what Shoto was able to do. Now, what this fire seems to be primarily like heat, like actually hot.
Nah, he's Super Saiyan right now.
But
he's fully Super Saiyan. He just like, but what I'm guessing, me and Ease, we call that Phosphorus Zero for now because we ain't got an official name for it. We don't even know what Dabi's real quirk name is. But the way I see it, he did what Shoto did, but with only heat.
Yeah.
And look at his tendons on that page, bro.
So since we
and we can hear you now, my boy.
All right, bet. So since we talking about what's good, y'all. So since we talking about the scientific attributes placed into this, right? So y'all remember how in Sports Festival, not Sports Festival, Sports Festival first, and then I use the one after that. Remember how in Sports Festival, Shoto used his he combined his shit for Flash Fire, basically Heat Wave before it was named that, when he combined them one time and it created that explosion. So then it also what happened in what was it? License exam. Remember Shoto Inasa did not get along. And at first, the fire and heat can't the wind and heat can cancel each other. When they work together, combine that, then it could
do some crazy shit.
It do some crazy shit. So we combine all these factors into that play because I can get to all the scientific shit, but I don't know how expansion, contraction, all the fucking scientific words for it. But you know what I'm trying to insinuate, that if that's combined, the heat with the ice, and he channels his heart to make his own level of phosphorus, it boosts his flames, which is basically essentially him hitting his Super Saiyan mode right now. So that's why Tarnish dubbed it. It's phosphorus, but it's Dabi's spin on it, so it's phosphorus 0. So that's why we have dubbed it that.
So with the thing with Dabi here is that now more than likely what he's going to do is maintain an internally low temperature while just having the X that generates heat on his chest. So now it'll just basically be when they go to clash now, when they, throw these attacks at each other, you're basically going to immediately get a bunch of flash freeze heat waves and stuff.
Bro, you see the sky too. The sky is dark.
Bro, he made the storm come. He was the one that caused the storm to come. When they was talking about it last chapter, people kept pointing out last chapter. It's like, yo, I think that's Dabi. I think that's Dabi. I think it's Dabi, because we knew he was coming back. And the fact that I had researched it, which one of the regions was, and I looked at the map we had. One of the regions is based off of Camino, and I was like, okay, so that definitely is 100% Dabi who's creating the storms over there. So he must have already been in full effect. And this goes back to a conversation we had with Sayas a minute ago about how Dabi gets to Endeavor. And it was like, is nobody going to notice him charging his shit and this, that, and the other? I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not going to take that long to pop off because everything happened at once.
It ain't take long at all.
It took that nigga like less.
Immediately after.
Yeah, it literally took like a fucking less than a minute. And he was like, what the fuck? And then this shit just popped back off.
Actually, he was trying to copy his thing before he even attacked him. He said this chapter. He was like, yo, I was trying to copy your move before you hit me. He was like, before you even hit me with ice. So you know what's crazy about that? Really, people didn't really pay attention to that in that fight. He peeped what Shoto did. He was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing."
After that first blow, he was like, "Oh, you canceled out the heat." Okay, I got to figure out how to, and that's why he started blitzing.
I'm not just gonna get packed up by little bro.
Am I doing it right, Shoto?
So I got some shit to talk about that. So all right, this is why I tell y'all, bro. This is why welcome, Thomas. This is why I have not actually once changed my stance on part 2. When something in your gut don't sit right, it's not about what I feel like. Oh, I just want a part 2 just because I want to see the kids grow, this and other. This is why I have not backed down. You think because the way I talk, I'm emotional and this and other. No, bro. Most of my shit is based off statistics and data and who you are as a person. People have patterns, habits, this, that, and the other. A nigga don't just lose his mind randomly. And when niggas lose their mind, the final arc is usually at the last stretch with the villain. They don't start just a nigga that has thought about shit for longevity. And the main problem about this series is it takes so long for things to have payoff and waiting. For him to set everything up and just throw it all the way at the end, all these classes, stuff. And I was like, bro, it don't sit right. The math is not fucking mathing. So it's like, it's something don't sit right.
No sidekicks, Dad. You see how he killed them niggas.
Like, you didn't even kill sidekicks in the last bit. Like, really, like, you're not gonna kiss with kids, whatever, but like, you're not gonna kill no sidekicks or nothing. And had Dabi go out with the whimper, Dabi of all people, and then talk about him switching his character, this and that. I was like, nah, bro. This nigga kept himself alive for 10 years off vengeance alone. When they said he should have died 3 months after he fucking escaped. That's why they didn't press that nigga. I was like, it's something, bro. Even if he were to lose, that's okay. But Horikoshi wouldn't hold him. He needs to go out proper. And he didn't do that. So I was like, something's not right. And then when that charge happened, I was like, yeah, bro. The math wasn't mathing, and not everything came back in full fucking effect, bro.
He really was not, bro. He really was not finished. Like, a lot of people really thought he was done after that. Like, he wasn't gonna go back at all. Like, that Dabi was just, so he got packed up by his little brother. He done. I'm like, nah, like, it's not without Endeavor, at least.
That nigga was not finished.
And the reason, what up, Ponzu? So the reason that we got into this is because a lot of big voices and this is unfortunate, but this is a trickle down of effectively like different people that have large followings being like,
Shoto defeats Dabi.
MHA is over. Hori said he's going to end it in a year. He's rushing everything. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's doing this. He's doing that. And because they've put like, so everybody's just like, well, the worst possible conclusion is what they keep expecting. And it's fun to hate. There's a reason why people watch the Player Haters Ball sketch of Dave Chappelle and laugh. And no, like you never hear somebody like, well, I think it's really problematic that Chappelle would have a sketch where the people got together and they celebrated because deep down we all know that sometimes it's fun to flame some stuff. It's fun to flame a nigga.
Fun to slander.
Like this fun,
especially when everybody else doing it.
It is, but but the issue when it comes to MHA is just that it's like it gets a little bit overboard. It's like you don't want to give niggas credits where credits due. Anarchy Coyote asked for the link, by the way. You don't want to give credit. Like it's the shit that pissed me off with Gitan and Cementos. Niggas constantly clown Gitan like, oh look he crying, look he crying like nigga. Cementos got a fucking icicle in his chest, bro. He made that nigga into a sickle, a fucking shish kebab, and you over here laughing about Gitan crying, nigga. Old boy got a sickle in his chest. And that's how we moving. It's all fun and games. So to come to MHA, it's all about the clout. Because like I said, Anarchy will drop an actual thread on some shit that he actually thought about with in-depth analysis and time and care put into it. But niggas will pop up and say, why didn't Alpha One get overhauled Quirk? This is a big ass. This is a big plot. This is a big plot hole, and that shit get like fucking 10, like a whole 5K likes and tweets. I'm like, bro, y'all making an issue out of something that ain't even an issue. Just to point some shit out that's not even a real flaw in the series. But meanwhile, when niggas talk about actual great shit in the series, we get like 50, 100. See, nigga, that's why I don't do threads no more because it's not worth my time. I don't like wasting my breath. And a lot of these niggas not worth my time because Twitter's just a fucking joke of an app, bro. All it is about clout. Say the hypest thing, you get the most likes and tweets. I promise you.
Like there's that buzzword bias, and that's just a phenomenon that is throughout. But because like the thing with me about this is that, and remember what I said last week too, and I was like, if Bakugou can be injured and killed, y'all need to start expecting a lot of bad shit to start happening.
Look at them side, bro. All three of them sidekicks are gonna die. Keto got burned. Other dude, homeboy is in Dabi's hand, literally, like he's on death's door. Burning about to jump in the mix. He's about to start dropping people that we know like flies.
Like it's like those niggas are dead. Like this wasn't like last time. Like, oh, we kind of scarred up. But Shoto go on. Nah, nigga, this is the run. Like he got scorched to death.
Now he's holding somebody in his hand. Like
he's holding Onima.
And I think and Keto is dead.
I don't know who's Onima, but the guy is dead. I can tell you.
Onima's the one in his hand.
You're right.
The one he's holding. Like he's gone completely. No hope for him. Keto don't even got a fire quirk and he got violated. And I don't know what Burning about to do.
We already talked about what Burning about to do.
I low key, I think Burning gonna get the worst one out of all of them.
Hold up. And because we talked about how it's fun to hate, y'all know what I'm about to bring up.
Joint train.
What the hell is Edge Shot?
Yo, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna hold you. I really think that nigga is dead. Or knocked out something. Like he's done bad right now. He has to be done bad.
Edge Shot is a dead shoestring.
He was a string when he got hit. Like his whole shit probably got fucked up.
That's like Mr. Fantastic or Luffy. Like if you I'll use Mr. Fantastic because they based off more logic than like One Piece. But like if you stretch himself too thin and you punch that nigga, it gonna hurt too. Cause like it's a piece of paper, bro. Like you can punch through it. You can punch through it.
Got his scissors Quirk.
Yeah, listen. Do y'all think Hori's finally gonna pull the plug on Miracle?
Eventually,
he been playing, bro. We know he like how she look. He been playing, like.
But man, at this point, what is going to be left of her other than a fucking torso?
Her tits.
It's gonna the way she's in his grasp right now, and he broke her prosthetics.
Nah, like he really ripped that shit off. Like it was like that was all some horror movie shit. That was like a fucking.
It's another pack incoming because look, if you look. Here, let me zoom in real quick. Because you look at page 4 and you go over, he's holding the functioning leg.
Yep.
And you think he's not about to break that leg like he did Bakugou?
Dead ass, bro.
She's done.
That
You-
leg
yo,
that he broke. And he
even-
said, who else is gonna be a gift? Who else should be a gift?
She was like, yo, I should have murdered you. Like, that was a little crazy. I didn't know the officials were gonna go crazy like that.
I know,
mean,
I know,
it's the truth.
I heard Aniki read that shit, and I was like, "Hey, yo, hold up, what?" She said murder. I was like, "Oh, see, they got the right mindset."
Look,
Wait. He took her arm like shit, bro.
you got to think.
Yeah.
This is some of these heroes. There's two types of heroes, and what's funny is that it's becoming more apparent that some of these heroes are soldiers and some of these heroes were celebrities. Genus is a celebrity on soldier duty.
Genus is dead ass a celebrity.
He really is.
There goes a
Endeavor,
soldier.
Hawks, Shoestring, all
That
soldiers.
nigga said Sioux Street.
They soldiers. Gran Torino, like we a couple weeks ago, we were talking
Gran
about like,
Torino,
Gran
veteran.
Torino is that dude.
He a veteran.
He was. Nobody even knew that nigga name or who he was because he was just that old.
Gran Torino was like, yeah, I should have took the kill.
Miracle just now reached
Like-
that.
Like, the dude was laid in the hospital, missing a leg, looking like a donut, and was like, if only I had caught that body, I wouldn't even mind this position that I'm in, because I would have killed him.
And he the proper old head because like, man, you young, you new niggas cool, but y'all too soft. Like he like y'all too.
Wait, hello. Before we jump into like the main
Bro,
event,
bro, I was waiting.
Before we jump into that, what is Shoto doing against Dabi?
Bro,
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
No. I wouldn't take the reins on this one because niggas really was trying to hold Dabi about him getting packed up. So I'm taking the reins on this one. Y'all going? Read the super chat first.
All right, Mello coming through. 10 out of 10 for the last 2 months. It's just been banger after banger after banger 1 year. Horikoshi live with no shade.
Bro, don't worry.
He's dead ass live.
Don't worry. I'm gonna get everybody asking that 1 year shit later because I got a mouthful to say about that. But listen, I'm about to go off on this Dabi, this Shoto shit. So I told niggas shit wasn't. I was like, told niggas like, bro, listen. In MHA fights, I know niggas like to put biases and just like act like it's all me head, but let's get real technical about how some niggas subvert or do some things. Like with the Nagant, I was arguing on Twitter space with some nigga about the Nagant and Deku fight. Niggas like, well, Deku used 100%. She done like, bro, you can't keep using Deku 100% as he just used. That's like if Naruto fight somebody like, oh, well, he got 9 tails, so he'll just win anyway. Like, no, you need to keep these niggas at what the capabilities they have. Stop trying to use their ultimate shit. He cannot just use 100% if you want to use 100%. So you need to keep him at his level that he was at his 5 gen. If the Gaunt wanted that nigga dead, he would have been dead before he read her moves. She was like, if she wanted to kill that nigga, she could have killed that nigga, especially with that mega cannon, but she was trying to distract him. If she wanted him to be dead, he would have been dead. It don't matter if he can use 100%. No, at his capabilities, even with 5 gen, she wanted that nigga dead. Danger Sense wasn't saving his life. Like you could.
That's the other thing is that if she wanted to, she could have just shot his ass in the leg from jump.
Exactly, like dead ass. And he even said that too. Like, bro, you could have hit me, knocked me out cold, but due to the narrative and how Koichi writes it, and that like she wasn't trying to kill the nigga. It was harder to capture somebody than kill. And people kind of misunderstood what Hawks was saying. Like, that's a tall order for most people, most of the convicts and Tartars, but she can do it. That's because she's a trained assassin and hitman. Like, other niggas are just lunatics and psychos. You think I'm going to ask a nigga like the Joker, hey, Joker, I need you to go capture this one dude for me.
Or that dude that Stain killed who was like, finally, I can get some women.
Like I'm not gonna it's you got to take into context what they said because people. I know Deku up there, bro. He top echelons, right? But still, let's not discredit the convicts who I'm pretty sure on Endeavor level.
Let's not get too off topic.
Let me real quick hit up these super chats because Mr. Andrew came. Hold on, Squid. I got super chats. Okay. Welcome, Squid. Andrew came through. Ed Shot is inside Bakugou healing him up, guys. I know Andrew just trolling. He love to say silly stuff. GT fought AFO in 3 generations. Put respect on him.
True.
Hey, Joseph, you right?
True, Joseph.
All right, so before we get to our topic, like I said, you got to take into consideration and analyze how fights went down. Shoto got saved twice, bro. The first time they saved him when his chip came up, nobody was ready for what Dabi was capable of. Then that was just a distraction with Hellspider. He turned around behind him took everybody on some like Dragon Ball Z shit, like choo, knocked that nigga and started. Well, as he flew and was sliding on the ground, Dabi was punching this nigga repeatedly as Shoto was bouncing up on the ground, up and down like this was Smash Bros or something, bro. Like, he really stomping this nigga like multiple hits, like bing, bing, bing. Shoto
He's a better fighter. He's a better fighter than him, listen. I'm so glad at what we're seeing from Dabi now because the whole series niggas have been asleep. I'm like, bro, he's not trying to fight nobody. He's really not trying to fight nobody. Like, he's really chilling. He ain't used no named attacks this whole manga. He's like a main villain. Never really used a named attack. Finally, he started popping off, and now everybody's like, what? Dabi's not done. I'm like, of course he's not done.
Exactly. Like, exactly. And then the second time they say that he had phosphorus, he hit Dabi with it. He was like, oh, shit. Okay. Dabi flipped up, recovered instantaneously, fucking softened his ground blow, and he was like, all right, bet. I got something for your ass. Then he used his fucking magma out the earth, Ragnarok type shit. And then Shoto was about to get cooked. He even said himself, oh shit, this fire power can fuck me up still. Then the fucking sidekick sacrificed their life, air quote, for this nigga. And then he got that one shot back off. But if you see what happened, he kept getting his ass saved. And now
repeatedly. Now,
bro, guess what? His brother just powered the fuck up. He powered down. He couldn't even maintain phosphorus like godly tier. Like on lock, he had to keep like in and out. He kept,
and that's part of the thing that's in Dabi's favor is because that all he ever told me how to turn up the heat thing. What that also means though is that Dabi is used to doing strenuous high level outputs. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna be able to just be like, keep this shit going, like period. Like he's gonna be able to do that.
Nah, real talk though. Like what is Shoto about this? The sidekicks is gone. Burning is next. The sidekicks is gone. So it's just him and Ida right now. And Shoto is already damaged. He injured already from the fight. Y'all think it's Ida time?
I think it's
I feel like it too.
Remember what I said? The chapter that had the 6 of them was titled Fighting Fate. Mm-hmm. And it was the 3 pairs that we got here. It was Shoto and Ida, it was Bakugou and Deku, and it was Su and Ochako, and they were layered a certain way. Mm-hmm. If we lost Bakugou, we can lose Ida and Su too.
Yeah.
Oh, I really got Su. I feel like I'm telling you, Su go and die, sacrifice himself for Ochako because Su keeps saving Ochako ass. It's been like twice already that Ochako should have got stabbed up, but Su kept popping in from the back to save her. And then then Toga dips.
Mark McElmo coming through, just giving us $10. Said I really get the chance to tune in live, but I just wanted to send you guys some love. I always appreciate the amazing talks I get to listen to on every Sunday. Hey, you appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you too, man. Appreciate you too. So about Ida, honestly, bro, ain't no running around Dabi for a speed tornado type beat. Like you do realize his rotors, he couldn't even do nothing last when Dabi wasn't.
Yeah, his engine was stalled. Like I think we got the Monoma joint training call back. I think it's time we get the match 3 Ida throw Shoto away. Mm-hmm. Like
you remember, and didn't I talk about that like 2-3 weeks ago?
You're the only one that could stop him. Like I gotta save you, and then he's that's
they have him having that speedy like Wally off of like how he gonna die like how Wally did.
You know what's crazy? Deku said he was faster than Gran Torino too already. So if he got some training in too, he's definitely faster now. So we could get a good feat.
Well, I'm telling you, that's because he didn't need to fight. You got it. Go ahead.
Though, for real. After reading this chapter, all I recognized is that low key, I think Eri is a better boxer than Shoto. I'm not gonna lie.
Hell no!
Like a piece of beef jerky, throwing out more hands than you. Like, was the PTSD of getting punched in the stomach by your dad that bad? Where now you just can't throw a punch? That's crazy. I would have never. That's not me. I would have never gotten done like that. That's crazy.
You know what's crazy about everything happening with Dabi right now is that Shoto could have put him in a pack. Like he could have killed him if he wanted to. Like if he was trying to kill him. Once he did Ager, if he hit that man with any type of flash fire to the dome, that might have been it. But he didn't have that mindset, and now he's gonna suffer for not having that mindset.
Yep.
People are gonna die.
That's a good thing to bring up because if you notice, we have Mirko going, "I should have murdered you,"
Yes.
And then we see the like directly in contrast to that, we see that Shoto was like, man, come on, I don't want to keep fighting. And it's like, damn, if he had been like, now that he's frozen solid, let me break him to pieces. like how some Sub-Zero fatality energy,
Right.
we wouldn't be in this position.
He should have gone for the head.
He should
Listen,
have.
man. Look, all I'm gonna say is there's no excuses though. A man
should have gone for the
bro,
head.
he don't even look, bro. He looks like in Game of Thrones when they had like those flayed people. He looks like that right now. Extra crispy too. I don't know, man. He should have been able to box him out, but
He should have put him in a pack. He's gonna feel this L. He's really gonna feel that L. Because Shoto really liked them sidekicks too. He really did. Damn.
Yeah, and now Onuma just got put in a pack. You can even smoke him now. Look, right there, he ash.
So one of the things that I gotta ask y'all, because do we think Endeavor gets saved by AFO? Not because, and I don't mean saved as in, oh, let me make sure you're nice and safe. I mean, I'm gonna let Dabi handle you.
I said, East. I told East that the other day. I'm like, I love, because when they was in the cave together, they low key had banter with each other. Like, I want to go kill my dad. He's like, wait, young Toya, wait. So he might be on some, I don't want no beef with Toya. Because you remember in the one chapter, he was like, oh yeah, the demon lord himself had to give up on this flame of death. Like, he might not want beef with Dabi. He might be like, you know what? He might be mad at me if I kill you. So I'm going to kill Hawks instead. And if Hawks dies instead, then we get the Tokoyami rage moment. So that we still can get a moment from that.
I feel like even though Tokoyami gonna have his rage moment, he's still gonna get bodied, but it's gonna be raw. Cause he gonna Ragnarok gonna go stupid real quick, and it's gonna rage off one, but off one gonna like still hold his hand out and like hold that nigga down, and it just like slam his ass right into the ground, like.
Yeah. Or you know what else All For One might do? All For One might be on some, you know what? Since you were so kind to fix my body, I'm gonna leave you alive and let you hold this L.
I honestly, I feel like it's gonna be a combination of everything we just said, and then plus he's gonna be like, oh, and then what greater gift could I give you than to meet your loving son just again? Cause it's crazy because All For One, like I keep telling niggas, All For One is not bloodthirsty like Shigaraki is bloodthirsty. Like All For One is a menace and shit like that, but Shigaraki be like, he be going out to kill niggas.
All For One will let niggas know.
Like All For One will let niggas do the work for him. Shigaraki a big stepper. Like he be out. I'm on the front lines. I'm on the front lines type of king type nigga. Even if I'm the most powerful.
One of the things that I like about this though is that if you recall, one of the biggest things that I've constantly brought up that has thrown me off about AFO's machinations is that objectively the person AFO does not live. His body is still going to die. So it's like, why is he pretending like it's really a victory? Even if it's like your quirk is going to get to live on, and your quirk might have a piece of your consciousness in it, but that is still not actually you. And now that he's rewound himself to Prime, or at least pre-All Might fight, one, we got to ask ourselves what kind of quirks he's got. Like, did the rewind impact which quirks he's equipped with? Because if you can rewind Mirio and give him his quirks back, then
he has an old load. He should have an old loadout right now.
Hey, bro, it's gonna be a whole new kit. That shit gonna be insane.
And two, now what reason does he have to let Shigaraki keep the real All For One?
Exactly, because he can just use it himself now.
Don't need, bro. That's the main thing that's busting my head right now with the story. Like, he don't need that nigga body. Like, after 357, I've really just been thinking about this. Like, he don't need his body no more.
But the way it don't work, but it's because he
needs his hatred though. He does need. It was a gamble. That's a fact too. He didn't know this was gonna work, but he does need Shigaraki's hatred. Because even if he has his real body back, he probably still won't be able to muster enough hatred to steal One For All. So like I can see it from that angle, but
well, the way I look at it is that if he steals the current iteration of All For One inside of Shigaraki, he'll be pulling part of Shigaraki's vestige and consciousness into him now. So he might still have access to their hatred without having to deal with the split personalities nearly as much.
I feel like it's gonna come at a time. This is how we picture it, right? So did you just address the super chat?
Yep, I'm gonna do that right now. So James Butterworth coming through. It's not like AFO and Shiggy will let the remaining kids and heroes run, hide, and train. If the heroes don't win this war, somehow everyone dies, including Deku.
So let me. You about to say something, or can I go off?
Yeah. So what I'm gonna say about this one is that if that is the circumstance that we end up within, it's not a matter of AFO letting them run, hide, and train. It's more of a matter of AFO will have successfully conquered Japan, and therefore, even if they leave, his influence will only grow. It's already been documented that he has allies
well, not
in multiple nations, all kinds of organized crime in other countries. So even if they flee to those countries, they will be completely in hiding. It won't be so much as they get to leave and train, so much as they would be permanently on the run inside of an ever-expanding empire of All for One.
Well, you mean Shigaraki, because this is Shigaraki's.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah, Shiggy's beat. I had to give respect to my king, because I can't wait to get all due respect. We're gonna gas Prime off one up, but you know, this is Shigaraki.
Listen, that's one sexy ass nigga right there on the last page.
No, Kizzy, bro.
Listen, yo, all jokes aside, yo, honestly, that seeing his face put so many things in the perspective for me, because if that nigga walked up to me back in the day and say, yo, let me get your quirk, I don't know what I'm gonna do, to be honest with you. Like, I see how he was out here manipulating nigga. Yo, he's 7 feet tall. He the same height as All Might. You see that face, that smile. He could just take and give quirks at will.
At that build, bro, he got white hair, red eyes, and he can float. Like a nigga, like you seen how he did in the flashback, and they just walk past everybody, and it was like, choo, took everybody
arms out in the sense of like, you need
niggas
only follow me.
Nigga took everybody quirks in a split second. It was just like, all right, stop about the fight. I stopped everything. I am Jesus. It's like in a time of such chaos and madness and panic, and niggas got superpowers, and this nigga got the power to give and take superpowers. You will believe he's God and Jesus too, bro. This nigga is a perfect, like, bro. Like,
no,
he's
not
like
only this. He had holes in his hands, my nigga.
Bro, this nigga rolled up on me talking about something like that. I'm like, hey, yo, what quirk, bro?
That's
your quirk, son.
I see how he had niggas in the palm of his hand for generations. Like,
also,
charisma,
what Jalen Baxley said, the doctor said he had a Buddha-like face.
Yeah.
Like,
and a smile, bro. That nigga had a smile.
Yeah, Annika, you might peep this. Thomas said that he got like creases above his lips. You could tell he be smiling a lot.
Mm-hmm. So, bro, that shit crazy.
Bro. The rewind isn't even finished yet. And he talking shit,
bro. I'm scared. I'm spooked, bro. Yo,
we gotta talk about Skeptic. Sorry, we gotta talk about Skeptic.
Hold on. Before we get there, because you know me and you, we finna tag team when we do this one. So you know we go off, we finna go off. So, but real quick, if y'all got something to say in the chat, I keep like sometimes we be busy and the conversation be going, and I know I don't like wasting my breath, so I want y'all to waste your breath. So at me specifically, and then I will track back so I can see who said stuff when I have downtime, so I can like get you guys' topics out. So at me specifically, so I can see it and come back to it later. Because sometimes with the conversation be flowing and I forget to go find stuff. So, but now y'all.
Wait. Time out. Before that too, before the Skeptic talk, Hanzu, how you felt about the chapter, my boy? Like,
you been gone, nigga.
We didn't really hear you like that. How you felt? Man, Square, you too if you can. How y'all felt? Don't want y'all to just be here.
I'm sorry, what you asking?
It's how you felt about the chapter, my boy.
All right, man, let me see. Shoto will still never get respect from me. He will never. I'm sorry, bro. At this point, I think Ray is a better boxer than you. Okay, like no cap. Like if we made a tier list, like dog, you might be at the bottom with like, I don't know, like people who are corpses, like they can't even move anymore. And I even think then we got a debate. So I ain't gonna lie. But All for One is an Adonis, low key. It ain't Jay. If you want to, you know, if you want to see, bro, no cap. I ain't gonna lie either. But besides that, the art was amazing.
Regular.
I'm low key happy to see that Bakugou's death actually got confirmed. Like he Uber clapped, like like that.
Yeah, honestly, listen, if y'all want to talk about that, what I want to hear now, the dialogue is now
And I don't know what
should be, is Bakugou gonna get revived? It's not, did Bakugou die? Is he alive? He's dead. You should be asking, is he gonna get revived? Not is he
I
still
mean,
alive?
I don't know what type of revive thing people have for him though. I mean, what you are we gonna? Is Toya suddenly gonna have healing fire or something like that? Like, what are we gonna do here?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Literally.
Like low key,
From LA.
like low key. Anything except him keeping the death is kind of an L at this point on Shiggy part. Okay, if I'm Shiggy, I know at this point, nah, bro. Even if I blew up a dude's heart, I gotta like disintegrate him, chop him up into 12 different pieces, spread him across the Louisiana, all of that, you know. But I don't know. I guess I'm just built different.
You built different.
Also, shout out to Dabi. Okay, he got that grind mindset. Okay, that Sigma male grind set. You know.
We all love him.
And now Burn is about to get clapped in his flame of misogyny.
Clap him.
This is gonna be pretty gas.
Ponzi, what you thought about the chapter? And last chapter, we didn't hear your thoughts like on Bakugou dying.
Oh, the last chapter. I wasn't there. That's true. The last chapter. Let me just pull up enough because it's been a long time because we had a pause with this with the last chapter. So let me read. I was the death of Bakugou. Okay, I was traumatized. Literally, I was traumatized. Hey man, you know how much of a Bakugou fan that I am. Literally, Bakugou is he was the guy that I look up to the most in that story, you know, to his evolution as a writer myself. That was a character that I really always gave me emotions. I had tears when I saw him dying. Man, this chapter, Horikoshi did it so well. The fact that his evolution of his quirk, the fact that he was always like blocking his quirk to sweat, that he could use over all his body, that was an interesting idea. Literally, it was perfect. I don't mind if after that chapter that he stays dead, for sure. I think it's good. It's well written. It is emotional. I just hope that the anime don't mess that up. It is freaking perfect for the character because at the end he was one of the only ones that could hurt Shigaraki. You know what I mean? He died fighting the big boss of the game. You know what I mean? Ale, he did well. He will become a legend in that world. It's just like it's sad for his parents, the kids, everybody that look up to him. You know, Dynamite. Oh brother, damn! But still, I was super. I feel that's the thing about it because it was so unreal for me that he died. I read the chapter like 3-4 times. Uh, but I wanted to forget even that he died, man. So yeah, I'm still under the emotions, but still, I can't wait to see the reaction of of Deku about it. You know what I mean? The fact that Deku look up also to him, what will be his reaction? Will he lose all his composure and lose to Shigaraki, or will he become the demon that we saw in the other world last time? Because last time he started to have red eyes, he started to look like a monster. So I can't wait to see what's happening next about the situation. Yes.
Oh, you finished, my fault.
Yeah. So right now we have the situation where we were all talking about the fact that light that we saw in Dabi's hurt, in Dabi's thorax, I will say. So when we saw the light, we knew that he wasn't finished. People were were talking trash. Some people thought it was a bomb. Now, right now, we have David who came back with some new skills. Right now, I'm really lost right now. So I'm really happy the fact that this war can really not be the last chapters of MHA, because from what I see, we're gonna lose a lot of people. Literally, we're gonna lose a lot of people, and I don't know how yeah how the ends will look like. Will the villains win, or will they lose? You never know. And if they lose, what will happen to Deku? Deku, he give his quirk to somebody else. So yeah, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see the end of the story. But we know at the end that Deku becomes the best hero that ever lived. What does it mean right now? What is the meaning about this? Being the greatest hero. So yeah, can't wait to see what's happening next.
Oh, okay, hold on. Super chat came through. Let's see.
Mhm.
Mr. Andrew, if we collect all the Bakugou fangirl tears and make a special potion, maybe we can get Bakugou to drink it and he can revive. Well, I might do if I do a space tonight, or if I do a space, it'll probably be tomorrow, mostly because I'm going to see Dragon Ball Superhero tonight.
Good movie.
Mhm.
Yo, Ponzo, I really like what you said about Bakugou's death. It's been a while since I've heard like some genuine good thoughts about his death. It's been so much like nonsense. But, yeah, I feel the same. I feel the same exact way. I feel like it was really well done, bro. Like it was really well done to me, honestly.
Honestly,
I think these Monoma pages were like what I needed to like really seal it off, just like a little more. Because like I was like within the scope of that one chapter, it was like I need a little bit more. But I understand why he ended it.
But we always acknowledge it was still gonna be some form of like still resolvation. Like he's dead, but it'll still be a memory still selling and still hitting the thing.
Yeah,
and
honestly, I was so happy when I saw Monoma's page, because last chapter when Bakugou got clapped, like Monoma's reaction hit me the hardest for this exact reason. I was like, yo, he was just hating on this nigga in class. Like, real talk. He was just hating on him, talking crap. Like, he never gonna change. And then he just watched this happen. And it's like, wow. Like,
and the thing is that the way I look at it is like when you look at Monoma and the way his story was kind of played out, if you think about it, like Bakugou and like Kirishima's quirks are like the first two we saw him copy. But even more than that, it's like he was trying, like Bakugou was something of a goal for him, like a level that he kind of wanted to be at. And even when you look at the way round 5 worked, he took the same role that Deku and Bakugou took within their teams. He ran point, he went in, he went in first. He was basically the leader, coordinating their strategies and ideas. He was doing the same stuff as them for his team.
He was also the diversion too, so yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So he took that same role that they played and tried to like live up to them, because like Baku, like it was always said, like Bakugou's quirk could do. He's like, my quirk can let me do anything, and one for all is one for all. Like let's just we ain't even got to say much about that, but. Because by that point, he had access to Air Force, so he had the ability to propel himself through the air and stuff like that. So it's like Monoma was taking quirks that allowed him to have like, enhanced flight, that twin impact things, which would have allowed him to get, bigger blows. He was basically like replicating like the damage output and the movement utility that they had access to through their quirks to fulfill that same role. So having him see like one of the people that he was striving to be and surpass go down here is something that's really, and also it finally, Shigaraki calling out Aizawa, and one kind of moving past that like you're so cool phase, but two,
you see his look in the eyes,
like him kind of being like, you took a back seat. So it's weird, because it's like on one hand it's like, Shigaraki, you know exactly why this man can't fight you anymore.
Who did this?
But on the other hand, it's like the thing that made him decide Eraser was always cool was that Eraser fought against insane odds the first time they met.
Remember when he first said he was cool? When he tried to kill Suyu, as I was not letting that happen.
And so it's like, you used to be able to stop me from killing kids, and now you can't.
That shit full of circle, crazy. So I'm gonna say this thing, then we move on to Gas No Skeptic because me and Torrance going. Me and Torrance will handle this section, y'all. Don't worry, because we
Hey,
got more than about to say about that nigga. But
I still have my headcanons.
but now, oh, you guys. I'm about to say this.
Go ahead, Candace, you got
What I didn't understand what you said, East.
I said I said you had something to say. I'm about to read something. I'm about to say something, so we can move on to Skeptic talk.
Okay, I wanted to say that for me, Shigaraki always was a fan of Eraserhead. Eraser, even when he was a kid, I think that he was his favorite hero. That's why that he still say that he's cool every time. That's my take. Nothing else.
Nah,
Okay.
he had to have been.
He was watching Heroes. He was watching Heroes, bro. He know about All Might and all these niggas. He knew. You know, All For One was putting him onto that shit.
And he was not, for what I say, he never was a fan of All Might. You know what I mean? We never, you don't, yes, but not only as a kid, you wanted to become a hero, but we never saw him playing with All Might stuff or something like that. I'm All Might.
Bro, I know this. If they got a top 10, if they got fucking rankings, watch this. If they got 2K and we got fucking, FIFA and all that shit in the world, I know them niggas got fighting games for heroes in that world. It's too much. It's ain't no way in hell they don't got no fighting games based off fucking heroes and shit with all the fucking things they be doing, popularity polls and like
I think I think Bakugou's card was a video game card or something like that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like I know they had that shit like that.
Or the MHA equivalent to Pokemon, something like that.
Yes,
something like that.
Yes,
so I know
yes.
you putting niggas in like you play like 2K, you got like celebrities you want to play as big name players. So it's the same shit for fucking you playing a video game with fucking everything is about heroes. You go and play as like, oh, Aizawa, this and that. You like, oh, who this nigga? I mean, it's no different than reading a manga or like some shit like that. Or you go like find out niggas you like and shit like that. It's simple, like
What we can add to?
Hold on. There's something that I want to point out though. Have you noticed that Horikoshi has been? We've gone to only 3 of the 4 big locations.
We ain't seen Toga yet.
What is he cooking?
Wait. We gonna get back to that because me and Tartar's got something to say about that for real. Bro.
That boy Skeptic?
Bro, hold on. Let me just say this real quick, and then we move to Skeptic.
Let me finish before that we go to the Skeptic and that conversation. I got to say something. Shigaraki, when he was young, he had the same color of hair, same style as Eraserhead, if you think about it.
Oh shit.
Black hair. He's always been touching his eyes. I'm just saying that shit. Just give it to you.
Always scratching his eyes.
Oh god.
Yes. So yeah, this I'm telling you. Just wanted to say that maybe that's why that he became a fan. But still, now we can go to Skeptic and.
Well, hold on. Let me say this before we move on topic. I just wanted to say, don't look at Bakugou's death. The issue that I had last chapter with Bakugou's death is that we couldn't actually just take it in because people wanted to keep throwing other things, and I'm like, there's way better ways for Horikoshi to have done a fake out death than what he did with Bakugou because it's literally Mortal Kombat X-ray through the heart, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, all right, we trying too hard to keep him alive. Can't he just have this moment? And Deku did not need to be here for that. Bakugou can't exist as a character outside of Deku. Please, I'm actually happy that Deku wasn't here because it makes it even better for Bakugou just to be Bakugou and get his moment on himself. Like, I really enjoy him going out on his own terms and not just like, because we're going to talk about how Shigaraki is actually Deku's rival because they were always meant to scale to each other and meet each other.
Bakugou is not that Sasuke, that Vegeta.
He was never meant to actually be
Bakugou is more equivalent to Piccolo, honestly, than Vegeta.
Like he was not meant to actually scale up, and everybody acknowledges. Tarnas made me realize we all acknowledge this. How Bakugou gonna keep up when Deku get this percentage or that percentage or whatever. We don't know it, but Shiggy was always meant to match with Deku. But we getting about that. Shout out to Tarnas really point that out too. But it's just like, I didn't get to really sit here kind of like, oh man, mourn because everybody was kind of going about like, all right, well,
that's what I've been telling people for years.
That way, it's like, can he just sit there?
That's what I've been telling people for years. When they say, "Oh, how is Bakugou going to keep up with Deku?" The point of his arc is that he's not supposed to keep up because otherwise he can't. because otherwise you can't accept that, yes, some people are just better than others, which is a big theme of the story. That's the
Oh
very
la
first.
la la la, Volk is back, man.
And there's a reason that's like the very first page, and Bakugo's on it, because that's a lesson Deku learns. That's a lesson he has to learn at the end of the story.
Oh, wait, Giorno Giovanna came through, and my go
Yes.
AFO back in his prime. What a great chapter, and love the stream. Hey, we appreciate all the love we get here. And yeah, and they were always going to be stuck behind him, which makes the whole "you guys can't keep up with me" thing even worse. But it also makes it funny that like the second user was like, he needs allies that can keep up with him, and like Bakugo was the one who showed up, and then it's like, but he's not going to get to keep up with him forever. It was like
Okay.
right now in this moment, he can keep up with Deku. After this, though,
Yeah.
all bets are-
The panel with like Skeptic, I think, hacking into the mainframe or
Yes,
whatever. You
sir.
see like the little island trailing behind UA.
Mhm.
Is that where All Might is?
Hold on, let me see. No, that's where. So that's connected through the cables. That's where Aizawa and Monoma are.
Yeah.
It's somewhere around Camino. They already established that. No, he's somewhere, I think, around Central. It's somewhere around Central. They said in the vicinity, the headquarters. They said their headquarters is somewhere in that vicinity of Central.
Speaking of Skeptic, y'all see them schematics? Boy, hacked into the UA system.
Hey, Torrance, you think it's time to just go off about Skeptic?
Oh,
I've been
if he hacked
waiting.
into the system, guess who else hacked into the system before? La Brava.
No, brava. That's a fact too.
All right,
Yo,
so
listen.
all right, we talking about to go off about that boy
Listen.
Skeptic, bro. Oh, man.
Listen, if y'all want to talk about My Villain Academia and its effect on the story, look no further than Skeptic. Look no further, bro.
The will of Redestro lives on in this man.
Bro, listen, last war, I remember people were like, why is Skeptic with the league? Like, why is he here? Like, why is he the only one that got saved? Even I was like that. I was like, it had to be Skeptic because I like Jaten. I was repping Jaten. You know, listen, Dabi said, listen, big brain play. I'm grabbing the most useful one out of everybody here. If he didn't get Skeptic, Spinner wasn't gonna get that mutant army. They weren't gonna have none of these resources they got right now. The Liberation Army is on call with Skeptic. He got the links to all of them.
Gas Mask God has already went to Tree Maki and they have a device.
Yeah, like he got devices on the Nomu. He could talk to all the league members, bro. On Toga's battlefield, there are 2 Nomus. You think she can't just scream out Skeptic and he could just do the same thing for her? Like, yo, what's
Man.
up? What you need?
We don't know if he can hack the prison even to liberate.
Oh, that would be too easy. That's too easy for him.
I need that, bro. I need some acknowledgement of that. Like, cause he has a satellite in space, and he's like, yo, I know you're looking for Endeavor. I already know where he's at. He's at Gunga. He can find anything. He can do anything right now. Like, and those underground routes, if Gas Mask gives those underground routes to Makia, we have never seen Makia dig underground. That'd be wild.
And then at that point,
That'd be
bro,
wild.
there's someone saying that this nigga Skeptic is like, it's like Tarn Shep when we was talking yesterday, bro. This nigga Skeptic, now we know La Brava's coming because this nigga Skeptic has to be taken out and combated.
Especially if this is the end of the whole series, you need to take out Skeptic right now.
So it's like you already know how I feel. I still not changing my part 2, but it's like regardless, Skeptic has to be addressed. Otherwise, you got a madman running around hacking y'all don't have the manpower to face these niggas in your face.
Bro, they can't talk to it. Bro, they can't even contact each other. The comms are messed up now. They can't communicate no more.
Now y'all, bro, it's so funny. Their best plan turned into their biggest fuck up and their biggest Uno reverse. He's like, y'all may have split us up, but guess what? We still got more manpower than y'all, more Uno reverse cards and aces up our sleeve. And now we took away y'all communications, but we can communicate and coordinate, and I can see everything.
Yo, my nigga, when Dabi screamed out Skeptic and the device came on the Nomu, I was like, they got communications? Like, I thought they were really split up. Like, I thought they were really like, damn, the heroes got us on that one. But they good. They're still linked up. They are good, bro. Like, the
thing about that, though, that we should have caught as a red flag is that they communicated to, like, the heroes were like, all right, Dabi's down. But it's like why were they like so quick to hear the message, especially when like Spinner wasn't that close, and I doubt they were like blaring it over a megaphone like, "Hey villains, you lost one." Like that didn't seem completely right. So it's like, okay, this makes a lot more sense, and it kind of goes to show that they didn't necessarily expect to get split up as much as they did, but obviously when you're going to a battlefield and things get messy, you know, there's that chance of like losing sight lines and
That's
all
what
the
I'm
other
saying.
stuff on each other.
Can I say something?
Noble.
You got it.
Can I say something? I got
What's
to
up?
say, we get 100 people on the stream right now, 102 people. Thank you for your support, guys. I just wanted to say
Like the
this.
stream.
Really, thank you. We all love you.
Yeah, whenever we hit 100, it's a good moment when we hit 100.
You know, this chapter was like that, bro. Appreciate y'all for coming and, you know, like the stream. So let me say this then. You finished, Ponzo, or I don't want to cut you off, bro?
Yeah. I just wanted to say to like the stream, show your love. Thank you. Man.
And honestly, bro, you got to think about it like this, right? If we need communications and everybody can choose, then Nomu are the best fucking niggas. Tireless monsters that can travel all across the way, and they're just like dogs. That's it. Like they're just like mechanical dogs. Like they don't get tired, bro. They don't get tired. They keep regenerate.
Toga got 2 speakers. Like, you know what else this does, bro? Now that we know the Nomu have communicators, so now Kurogiri getting out is basically confirmed because now they can share their locations with each other. Like, yo, I'm right here. Pull up.
That's the thing.
And Kurogiri, all he needs is coordinates.
And that's what
so it's done.
And then Skeptic relays that back to Spinner and be like, "Hey, yo, Spinner, I know Spinner got a comm in his ear. He gonna be like, hey, bro.
He got the black device.
Yeah, so he gonna be like, hey, bro, listen, Dabi's at XYZ lateral, blah, 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 blah. He gonna be like, hey, I knew it. I knew Dabi, like, they're getting Kurogiri back out, bro. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. They gonna get that nigga out.
Yeah, Skeptic was talking the most spicy this chapter, just saying all for one, go on.
Oh, Aniki, get Coyote the link. Aniki,
as will I. Like, insane.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna try to send it to Coyote on Twitter just because trying to find him.
Bro, you know the thing about Skeptic, honestly, like Skeptic has always been a funny character, but people would sleep on his humor because they don't like reading all the dialogue bubbles.
Hey, they better wake up.
If you actually read everything he says whenever he talks, Skeptic is like a top 10 like funny character, which is why I want Gentleman LaBrava to take him out. Because now that Skeptic is a player on the board, we need somebody to actually like handle him, like for real. We know LaBrava got the hacking skills. She found Gentle. Like, remember that she tracked Gentle down. So they might be able to find Skeptic. And then, you know, they're comedic enough. Like Skeptic is a funny character. Gentle and LaBrava are funny characters. That would just be a great interaction. Like, I feel like that would be like Horikoshi can do that. Like Skeptic versus LaBrava and Gentle, that'd be lit.
I need LaBrava taking control of Skeptic's anthropomorphized things, because you can tell he uses actual satellite things to control. So once he makes those robots, technically anybody who can tap into those frequencies can control them, which means that could be a way to counteract the sad man's parade that seems to inevitably be coming.
It is coming.
It's coming. That's the one. Hey, listen.
Yeah, you know one thing I've seen about this arc, East, like, bro, this is what the last war should have been. That's like, this is what we expected from the last war. Like Skeptic going crazy like this with his satellites. We wanted this last war, but he got, they got caught off guard.
They got guard, but now that they on the offense, so they get to fully flex their prowess. I told you, bro, the niggas got caught with their pants down. That's what I said. And now more so, now I'm seeing Skeptic at full capacity, like really letting loose. You know the best part about this is, all right, I want y'all to know the day that Greninja, Gas Mask God, and motherfucking Discuss pop the fuck off, I want y'all to know I'm be a different type of nigga. Because I've been motherfucking waiting for these advisors for I don't know how long, bro. I have been waiting late for the advisors to pop off, bro. I have been waiting so long for these niggas to actually do something. And niggas were talking about, they got wasted, this, that, and that. I'm like, bro, they're not even
hold on. I gotta break down why you saying that too. So East is saying that because how many of y'all remember that Mr. Compress saved Skeptic in the last war? That was a tiny ass moment where Skeptic was like, yo, save me too. And then Compress picked him up and then they went back to the hideout. That moment, that small moment right there when we saw Skeptic led to all of this. So imagine all the advisors and people that he was drawing back then from the beginning of the war who are still around now. They have to have some type of purpose to still be around.
Yeah. Also, real quick, let me hit up these super chats. Mel said, "I love how Nezu was sliding through the cracks." No, I've had that rat on my suspicion list for a long time.
Nah, he ain't slick.
For a
After this,
long
after we
time.
came back here, I was like, yeah, nigga, I remember you.
And I want a Skeptic versus LeBrava hacker battle because there's no quirks involved. It's 100% skill of the participants. That is something that is worth getting to have.
Bro,
now,
Horikoshi did this like a video game shit. Oh my god.
One of the things that I do want to talk about with this Skeptic thing too is that there objectively are different kinds of weapons, automated stuff. So kind of imagine if, as we're progressing with Skeptic doing all this stuff, let's say one of the moves is activating the UA bots.
Bro.
Yo, what if he
those are military grade bots. We saw that when they
like what if he just drops the whole shit? What if he brings down the electromagnetic barrier?
And one of the things we got to look at too is that, like we were talking about, the last war, even though it gets called a war, was a raid. They jumped these niggas.
Bro, yes, I keep saying that.
They jumped these dudes. So they was coming out the like apartment, like, "Hey, yo, what's going on? I was taking a dump 3 minutes ago. What's happening?" Like, and all of a sudden you getting electrocuted, and you got all these counters, and they was able to like set up everything perfectly. Like they put Kaminari where he was just to neutralize one person. Which, if you think about, like, then that's one of the things that, like, when I talk about how them jumping them is exactly why Redestro was capable of losing to Edshot, I'm not joking.
That's why.
Because Redestro would not have paired himself with a group of people. Look back to MVA. He sat in that tower, and it looked like he was just putting everybody to work for him. But in reality, it was because he needed that space for his yield on his attacks. Because, like, you notice he didn't hit any allies with his burdens.
Never.
So,
but those were like full power blasts, and it was because he was that far removed from where the rest of them were.
So I got this to say too, and piggyback off that. This is why I keep trying to tell you about the advisors, and niggas keep like, "Oh, East the advisors, this another." By the way, Brawny, I want you to know I'm coming for your ass as soon as them niggas pop off. I've been waiting on you, nigga, for 30 years, and I can't wait to come back for you for that shit. Cause I've been waiting for over 2 years. You don't understand the wait, the anticipation. I've been lying and wait, the trust and faith I have had for this exact moment that these niggas pop back up. And Skeptic proving his worth and why he was lying and wait. Skeptic is a perfect example. Niggas like, why don't you just get the powerhouses? Why Geaton and Redestro got taken out? It wouldn't have worked because Redestro would have been doing some shit with Shiggy in the off one
thing. Why do we care what Brawny thinks?
Nah, me and Barney go way back from Discord. Okay. We go way back. Because me and him go way back from Discord. Like I've kept trying to tell niggas the advisors and this, that, and other. We had a whole discussion.
Okay.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I like the 10 more. I was a little salty, but Skeptic was the right player to say. Dabi
and hey, look, now that the villains are like starting their kill streak, I think that lends further credence to them jumping the other members out of jail, like we've been alluding to.
If that happens, this is not ending.
Yeah, Compress survived end of POW.
It was confirmed.
They're trying to get to Kirigiri right now so they can use his quirk. So I think we're still just only getting started on what this final battle is going to show us.
And I'm about to touch on that so we can crescendo to what's going to be a really good discussion, and we're going to theorize. So let me do this before I piggyback what Bo said and we continue on with the discussion. So in that is that it's not MHA. Horikoshi may make the choices that may not always be the most favorable at the moment, but it's always the most logical and best in the mind for the story. So even if he does something that I wasn't a fan of, like I want, let's say I want Tokiyami 1-on-1v1 fight, but this is better for the story because as everything is playing out now, what we gonna be real fucking amazing later on, right? So it's just about lying and wait. Redestro and Geaton being here wouldn't have fit the mold because of their character arcs and like how they portray the relationships with Shigaraki and not like All For One. Skeptic wasn't a part of LOV, but he got initiated like Tarnish shit. But he was like he had to play that role in the back. But now you can fully see why he was waiting. Just like I said with the heroes not dying last war, it was more so a raid, not a full war. But now that we had True Blue Nobody's backing down. We clashing toe to toe. Like either you die or you don't. Like at this point, so it's like now everything's making entire sense. So with the advisors, the way they've been lying in wait, and we've seen a couple of them actually making moves ever since then. And you have to take into account, bro. Remember in the war, Shocker was not bullshitting. He said, "My shit can lay everybody ass out." He was not bullshitting. Kaminari is just the perfect counter, bro. Perfect counter to that nigga. And then he got jumped by Ed Shot, who really is a powerful ass nigga. Shot through him, and then he got jumped by three other heroes. So like, take that into account. Don't look at just face value like, aha, he lost, he sucked, he was just talking shit, he got folded. No, take into account what actually happened at that moment. If that's a support regimen, nigga, imagine what the niggas who are Vanguard Squad who actually go into action look like. The guerrilla warfare niggas.
Because
one of them at Mafia location too, where like they're holding it down.
And that's one of the big issues that I found consistently with discuss, because that's one of my favorite things, and it was in Jigo Karaku, where somebody was talking about this, and I believe it was I can't remember his name now, but he's the one who ends up wearing an eye patch at the end. And he talks about how as a swordsman he would go around traveling and challenging people, and it was glorious for the duels and stuff. But he was like, war isn't like that. War isn't about who has the most skill. Surviving war is about who's got the best luck combined with some skill. So when you have a raid that's coordinated specifically to take you out with like optimized counters and all this other stuff, and then you're in a giant scramble where you have people all around you who at any moment are going to be like, oh, sweet, I just knocked that guy out. That guy isn't looking. I'm smack him too. Because like the dude who got killed by Twice his clone, he had managed to snag him, Toga and Compress, and then boom, stabbed in the back of the neck.
Because Hawks was supposed to be taken care of Twice, but Twice got away. You don't know. You can't account for the freaking randomness.
It's war. It didn't matter that he had a sensory quirk that was able to do it because he was already busy doing something else. And that's how plenty of people who were in that battle would have gotten taken out. Having like the option to interact, and then all of a sudden somebody else has an attack of opportunity that you couldn't have foreseen.
Exactly. Yeah, Jalen, that nigga all for one. When I say big dick energy, I mean that nigga. When I say whip this dick out,
sir,
that nigga.
Yo, no,
butt naked.
Listen, bro.
Censorship is needed right now. Damn, bro.
Look at that man on the last page.
When I saw all for one like that just confirmed for me Shigaraki has to kill this nigga.
If he catch this body,
well, even like it's so ambiguous still. Like, I mean, in the Japanese version, he speaks like all for one, but like he has all these mannerisms, and people still refer to him as Shigaraki. And it's like, is the question: is there really a difference anymore?
We just go with Megumaru and Shig for one, whichever one you want to use.
Melvin.
I call him Shiggy. I call him Shiggy for one when he acts like all for one, because in my mind, even when he's talking like all for one, it's still like he references Shigaraki stuff. So like the dialogue comes off as like all for one talking, but like it'll be a Shigaraki.
Yeah, it's strange because it's like both of their memories are sort of like joined into one now. Where it's like Shigaraki recalls like what happens at POW, like directly to him, not when all for one was taking over, like directly to him. And like he, just this chapter, he was talking to Mirko, like, don't beat yourself up. You all suck.
Shigaraki would never say her full name.
Exactly,
but that happened to him.
And so that's what makes it weird, because like he always calls a racer. He usually refers to heroes by their hero names, but like what he's talking about sounds like Shigaraki. The way he's talking sounds like all for one. And that's why I think they just kind of constantly still blend a little, like there's still a bit of a division. And I think that's kind of been the case, especially since we have the Shimura crack too, that like it can't be complete until that Shimura crack is somehow healed. So we're probably always going to see this until whatever plot with Shimura is resolved.
And then that nigga Shiga get his body back for me.
I honestly, from my perspective, when he was bodying Bakugou, that was Shigaraki. I think Shigaraki really has beef with Bakugou. Like
he did.
He took that explosion to the face harder than he made it seem at first. Because honestly, you really got to think about it. Shigaraki he thought they were kindred spirits. Like he thought Bakugou was really similar to him. Like he was suppressed, you know, he saw him on the sports festival. So he thought like, oh, this is a budding villain. Tried to convert him, he exploded his face. And then the next time he saw him in the war, he was like, you're not on my radar anymore. Like, yeah, he said that to him, but you know, he made it a point to say that to him. Like he has a problem with Bakugou, Shigaraki. Like,
well,
I will
because
tell
when you
you
think
why.
about it too, Bakugou is angry. So like in Shigaraki's mind, we're both super angry, hyper pissed off people who have powers that are ultimately considered only useful for destruction.
Yes.
Both of our powers are directly tied to our hands. Obviously, Bakugou gets that one bit of leveling up before he gets his heart broken. But the point still stands that like they both have hands that are made for destroying, and yet everything about Bakugou's path is the antithesis of the path that Shigaraki took. And so there's a certain level of, even though Shigaraki will never say it, it's very clear that there's parts of himself that he has to be able to see within Bakugou. Bakugou is kind of like the embodiment of people rejecting him, like the way his family did. Because like to a certain degree, Shigaraki rejects his own dream as a child and fully embraces that villain because of his destructive quirk, whereas Bakugou, in spite of having a destructive quirk, still chooses to be a hero. And then you factor also in when Bakugou snapped on like Mina and Kaminari back during final exams. If you remember, they were like, yeah, robots, we don't have to worry about hurting people. And Bakugou was like, you need to learn how to use your quirk to not accidentally overhurt people. Like his ideology, the way he approached his quirk, his dedication, all of that is like the antithesis of the path that Shigaraki walked. Even if Deku is moreover the one-to-one rival with Shigaraki, they have this ideological struggle. But when it comes to like power and like the physical sides of what their beings are, Bakugou works as a far bigger mirror and basically makes Shigaraki have to take some accountability for the decisions that he's made in his life. Like as a character, as a person, you can't be like this person with very similar circumstances to I still made this choice to be good and be okay with it. Like people are never really okay with somebody making better choices than them when they have to like face it in this kind of way. And even when he says, like Bakugou, you're not on my radar, Bakugou not being on his radar is exactly what got his ass rocked by Endeavor. So he has consistently been penalized for underestimating, misunderstanding, and undervaluing Bakugou, where that is definitely a sore spot for him. Because even in this, like he's missing an eye now and half his lining because Bakugou.
The only person.
And then if you really think about it, his life went to shit when he kidnapped Bakugou. That's how he got caught. That's how niggas caught him in the bar. And then All For One got locked up. You know what I'm saying? He has some resentment for him. Like, it's always been there for me. So when I saw him like really whooping him, and he even brought up the bar. He was like, yo, I remember when you said you admired All Might. Imagine that. Imagine you thinking a nigga is just like you. And then he's like, nah, I look up to that nigga you hate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was mostly Shigaraki fighting Bakugou to me. Even though that second user flashback is definitely All For One. Because, he was like, why do I feel scared?
Yeah, that was All For One. But let me say this real quick because it's not even long. It's just Simo's 04 GR said something to me a while ago. Any theories about what happened at UA? Is Skeptic sending villains at them or switching their place? All For One of them already got spies in that bitch, so they could probably be sending some extra firepower, but they really finna fuck them up because they got their shit. The
underground roots. I don't know what that is. Is there a missing no move like that? You know what I'm saying?
Coyote answer that question.
Yeah, like how many no move were there like at the end of the war compared to this one? Like
we had 6 at the end of PLW. 2 of them are at Toga's. 2 of them are at All For Ones. 1 of them is at Dabi's. And then there should be 1.
Oh, Bat Nomu died.
Yeah, Bat Nomu died.
I was gonna say that missing Nomu might be the thing at that, the door. But so we don't know what that is. That might be an advisor. That might be an advisor or convict who's about to break in and kill some civilians.
Yeah, we don't know. We still got missing advisors too that we ain't seen. That we don't know they got taken out or not.
And if they got them underground routes, the civilians better have somebody defending them.
They gonna have your ass step up and get your ass killed, nigga. Old ass bitch. So anybody want something to say before I get into this next discussion? Because I'm just gonna start it off. Y'all gonna be gone. Nothing to say.
Started East.
All right. So
Aniki said what I wanted to say. Literally,
No,
Aniki said.
Aniki
said what all I wanted to say.
So I'm calling in the boss. Hey, big man.
What's up?
So you remember earlier you was talking about we don't know what's going to happen, right? And the war, this and other. We mentioned how Toga's battlefield, right?
Yup.
So it's official. I think we can all come at general consensus to take credence for. So now we have dubbed it. We have finished the phase of Act 1 of the last arc. At this point, we finished Act 1. If we follow story structures and arcs like that, this is definitely Act 1 of this entire war. Because now Act 2 begins the villains crescendo in their run back within the middle of the climax, I believe. Then the heroes get some Suicide Squad moments. They pull some shit on their end. And then by the 3, everything just comes to a head. Like Dabi pulled up Endeavor. Deku probably there. Like they got core gear. Like everything's going crescendo at that point. Because we still have a lot of battlefields to get across too. Because we talked about this running things back. And you can't just keep running every field back like the villains lose this and other. I think the run back starts because Gas Mask God is definitely a top tier nigga. I don't think he's gonna have a run back. I don't think the Makia battlefield and the Spinner battlefield, Jakku ruins. No, yeah, Jakku ruins and the fucking and the Central Hospital, they won't have run backs. I know those 2 fields will probably be a straight shot through. Like we won't have to they lose and they come back type B because they have very high level military points.
They have objectives.
Yeah, so they have like actual literal objectives. It's not just fighting. Like we have to awaken Maka. We have to get them, and once
they get Kurogiri, they're teleporting out. It's not gonna be no time for no run back.
Yeah.
Once Maki is out, any chance for a run back is at 0.
Sorry, that one guy. I was thinking about that too. My fault, man. Sorry.
Also, one thing that I will say is that if it gets bad enough, chances are they're going to be like, Monoma, just leave. And it'll just be like, that's like the only way that's the only way I can see like the hero still getting out of this situation. Just Monoma helping some of the few kids who don't get mollywopped here get out. And like, honestly, even Aoyama, like I could see Fat Gum dying. Because I feel like Fat Gum has kind of been living on borrowed time. Man has been in way too many situations where...
Yeah, honestly, Makia should have clipped him. But honestly, maybe it's a good thing he didn't die because then who would have been with Aoyama?
Yeah, like that's kind of my thing though. Is like, look, he's killed off Bakugou. He's established that nobody's really safe, and I don't think you can end it at him in Endeavor. I think you got to take some more out.
Oh, for sure. That's why the sidekicks died this chapter. Shit, he just killed off 2 more people this chapter. They're not like big name characters, but they niggas just die anyway.
He was still kicking.
Like
Did he kill 2? I thought he only killed 1.
No, it looks like so.
The first guy was the one that was holding him in the first place. I don't know if that's Keto or not, but
That's
there was the
Onoma.
Yeah, there was a guy he was holding the first, and then Keto was literally because there's 2 different people. The first one you see getting burnt, and the second one he's literally holding by the fucking chest.
Onuma was the second one though with the horns though.
Yeah, and we don't see Keto.
Yeah,
and so like we either that's Keto burning or some random.
It is Keto burning in the first panel. The thing why I say he isn't dead is because after Onima's literally burnt in hand by Dabi, he doesn't shout Keto right after. So it's just like he would shout Keto and Onima at the same time.
Keto is still reacting.
I need Burnin to live. Okay.
No, she's dying. She's overrated.
It's over for her, bro.
I know
they
she's
can all
dying.
die. I don't care.
You know what?
Burnin dead, bro.
Her death was confirmed when she said, "Shoto run." Like, what are you about to
do? Bro, that nigga gonna do Dabi gonna do burning like Endeavor did off 1. He gonna take that girl and drag her ass through the fucking mud.
But wait, do y'all see Ida and Shoto trying to fight back against Dabi right now?
Bro, they about to run.
Bro,
they're about to run. Okay, that's what I'm hearing.
They had a look.
Shoto gonna try to fight. Y'all know him.
Nah, but
They ain't looked like this since Camino when All for One pulled up. There's a reason they back at Camino. They just saw death.
Literally, what I see right now is my man Ingenium dying right now. I see him trying to save
So what's going on? Yeah, you got it, my fault.
Trying to save Shoto, trying to save him and get him burned while saving him.
Gonna save Shoto.
So listen, so Shoto, before we get the super chat real quick, Shoto is gonna want a box. He gonna get angry. Ida's always been the cool-headed, class president. I gotta say, my nigga. So he gonna make that nigga get his head on right. Like, no, bro, you can't fight the nigga. It's too late, bro. We lost this one. Like, we gotta go. He gonna be trying to tell that nigga.
Shoto's not with that.
Okay.
Also, alternatively, I see Ida going to save Keto to rescue because that's his whole shit is rescuing people. He's gonna save Keto.
A little too late.
It's too late for that nigga, bro. I'm sorry.
Nah, Keto got out of the fire, so he's all good to me. So he just
real quick. Let me hit up this super chat. Ozza Black said, 1, what are the heroes gonna do? They are royally screwed here. And 2, also I know this is off topic, but Prime All Might versus Hunter Hunters, Prime Meruem, who wins and why? So it kind of depends on which version you consider Prime Meruem. If you consider post Rose Meruem as Prime, even with the cancer, then more than likely Meruem, just from access to abilities. His kit's very varied. He's got high enough durability to keep up with it. If you're talking about a fully healthy Meruem, no cancer, All Might, because of the fact that he's not going to have the same issues that Old Man Netero had. In addition to that, people tend to miscalculate when they try to scale Hunter x Hunter, not realizing that Netero broke the sound barrier with his punch back when he was in his prime, and that was like the peak of martial arts, whereas All Might's punches are definitely more than supersonic. So the speed at which he could throw things and like the access to ranged wind-based attacks is going to allow for him to have a significant advantage over Meruem that way. So there you go. There's both answers for you.
Answer one.
Well, I just wanted to ask you real quick.
I don't know.
My bad. I was gonna say, do you guys think we're gonna be bouncing around next chapter still, or are we?
We hitting another. Everything has been set. We going to a different field because it's been too long. Because like you can't choose.
I think we have to get something with Toga, and because like this because one of the things that we were kind of talking about is how the last chapter feels like a really good end to the volume, especially because some of the chapters had like lower page counts. So if we look at this as the first chapter potentially of like volume 37, then the precedent that this chapter is setting for that volume is the pendulum is really about to just start swinging. And we're about to see villains really start popping off.
Toga has the best chance of popping off right now.
So
we already know she's got it.
And I think that as sick and cruel as it is, I think leaving this as a cliffhanger for All for One and moving away from him again is a really great week-to-week reading strategy.
Exactly. And my baby Mirko, she's about to get bodied. I don't want to see that.
I think this is a perfect time to cut away to either Deku and some other things going on, because like, all right, now we get fresh air. Now we get like to see other things playing out.
I want to stay with Dabi. I'm not gonna lie.
I know you do, because I want to run back, but I'm good. We had all these stuff. Now let's go ahead to get everybody else some other things. I really feel like Spinner and Mock. I feel like Spinner and Gas Mask God gonna be like closer to the final act of the act 2.
Yeah, you know what I got next? Next I got Sarah Gasly.
Yo, that shit.
I feel like that's the place we know the least about, like the least.
Like, bro, why is he keeping that in the tuck?
We ain't seen nothing. We ain't even seen Gasly design. We seen Kunita. We ain't even seen his design. We have no knowledge. Like, tucking that card.
Oh God! And then he already told us about Sarah. He was like, "Yo, let you know now." He was like, "Hey, bro, he gonna have a great moment, bro." And I'm just like, "All right, bro, what's that supposed to mean, bro? Why you keeping it in the tuck, though?"
That's my two. We either going to Toga and Uraraka, because low key Toga was the first field we was at for real. Like, That was the first field we really seen. Like,
That's a prime field right there, though. That's like
it's a prime field, but you know what I'm saying? We got that little bit of Dabi, we got that little bit of Shiggy. I ain't get my token fix yet. Like,
and Fish, I'm gonna be real with you. She dead. As far as I'm concerned, she's already dead.
So Aniki, hear me out. I just need one more panel of her ass, and then Hori can get her out.
Don't worry, you gonna get it because it's gonna be like how Wesker had that like a monster hand or whatever. So like how she's sitting now, you gonna get it as Shigaraki crush her ribs and organs like a rag, and then throw her, and then you can look at her butt cheeks from the sky.
About to make me cry.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about Toga Battlefield? We really cut away from there right before the fight started. Like right when Uraraka posed up, right when they were about to start fighting, we cut away. We ain't been back since.
Bro,
And what's crazy is that the scariest thing about this though is that one of the things that we've kind of talked about is like this is the first time MHA has we gotta wait for the MC trope running on it. And the thing about it is if Deku had arrived on time, Kamino would still be turning to shit like this. What's happening at Gunga Villa would still be happening. So like Deku not being where he needs to be does not matter for the amount of horrible shit that's happening right now.
Niggas really want
to. Literally, the thing about it is that even if he was on time there on the floating island, Bakugou still might die because right now, you have to imagine Bakugou. Everybody's fighting there, even if he used 100%. He would not beat Shigaraki with all his works. Just think about it.
It still would have been a tough fight. Honestly, I don't think it would have been the wash that people think it is.
Because he still got all my level strength and speed.
He still got all my strength. Deku wasn't ready for all the hands. Like,
you have to understand, All For One was fighting All Might. He didn't have the strength of All Might back in the day. I'm just telling you this now. Back in the day, the set of Quirk that he had, he wasn't strong like this. That's why when he survived the fight against All Might, he was so focused about getting that strength, because it was a strength so powerful, that he overcome every combination of Quirk that he had. You have to understand that, and because most of the time, I really think that he went for that's my idea, because I think that he used it also against Shimura, that he went for an elemental type of quirk combination, because most of the time elemental quirks are really powerful too. You know what I mean? And All Might beat the fuck out of him. Do you know how much of it?
You know he used like 100 quirks during that fight. At least.
Yes, at least. That's why that he was so focused to get to get that strength too.
He made a normal specifically for All Might.
All Might. That's how traumatized he is. That's why, just thinking right now, that
he has that.
Yes, he has that. On the top of that, if he used all his quirks, sorry, I don't think that it's gonna be a wash. But I tilt to say that it's not gonna be that easy. It's not gonna be that easy. Literally, that Ken should have literally at least hurt him. This man went back after a combination of how many all the most dangerous stuff of.
He really ate that. Bro. I'm not gonna lie. The second spark has to be stronger than that cannon. And that cannon already was.
It's gotta be real, bro. It's gotta be.
The second quirk has to outdo Howitzer Cluster and Plasma Cannon.
That's kind of crazy. And it got to top over Eggier. That's kind of crazy.
Because the only hope that's that quirk, because you have to remember is that one of the memories of For One was him. That guy he said this guy doesn't have one for all, and he's still making my life difficult. You know what I mean? So his quirk must be.
Oh, okay. So I'm about to.
Yeah.
You finished, my fault.
Yeah, no. That's what I say. So I'm really curious about the second user's quirk, because, right, it seems hopeless for me for the moment, because the way that. So yeah.
So I'm about to go off real quick. So, hey yo, so real quick, by the way, Alves, you bugging. After Bakugou, anybody fair game, bro. Like, don't be trying no limit to no just like Ayom and Bakugou. Nah, all these niggas is fair gameplay, boy. Like,
especially the pros. Listen, if y'all want to
like-
say no more students is dying, fine. But some pro heroes are gonna die.
nah, I'm not trying to hear anything about the students no more because people was like, he won't kill a student anyway. He just killed the most popular student and the most niggas like nobody. Everybody was like, nah, I can see him kill Ultra. He'll never kill Bakugou. Never this, that, And he just killed. He is the first nigga to die in the war, bro. Legit. Everybody fair game at this point, done. Like Ochiko, she probably say because Bakugou already died. But listen, Sue definitely chopping block for real. Ida dead for me. Ayama dead. Sarah dead. That
because he did say Sarah was gonna have a great moment too, didn't he?
Yeah, and Sarah was 100% fighting Gasly unless Gasly's going to the UA thing.
I'm still wondering what Sarah was like because remember that chapter was all announced. Todoroki at 1. Sarah didn't say nothing. He was looking at.
That's what I keep saying. We ain't seen Gasly. He only had 1 or 2 races.
That battlefield is a complete blind side. I would love if we went there.
Bro, he gonna throw that shit out there at the wall. She gonna be like, "Yo," we gonna be like, "Bam." Listen, like you like, hey yo, what the fuck? Like, how we get here?
My man.
Here's my thing, right? Is that if you are on Ue Gashima and you are not Mei Hatsume, I don't have your life safe anymore.
Not even Momo and Kaminari?
I don't have no.
I feel you, but I'm
the only person that I could honestly see living through this is Mei Hatsume, and that's specifically because I feel like Hori would use her as a important like tool for rebuilding, support corps society and that kind of stuff after this war, and in the future, where she kind of feels important enough that she feels important enough from a sociological and like a macro perspective, but not so important from a story perspective that we would be like, oh yeah, whatever. Because like the thing with Onima, Kido, and more than likely Burnin getting packed up here is we all know these dudes have been riding with Endeavor since the start of the Endeavor agency, like when he actually founded a
they real day one.
And in addition to that, if you think about it, they are partially Dabi's replacements because you remember Dabi, based on what he said, was like, you started that agency hoping to collect fire users because you didn't think I was actually dead. So in a way, he just killed his replacements.
Again.
Dabi 101.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always like a sleeper line from Dabi for me. Like he was always like, "Yo, you have this whole agency full of fire users. You never even thought I was alive. You thought I would have came to you or something."
Like, Amir, I get what you're saying. I get what he's saying from the standpoint of it's very rare when like the most popular character gets killed off because it's considered like bad marketing. Just like people, because like, and sometimes people will be like, I dropped a thing just because my favorite character died. But when that happens, you're usually about within the first 30% of a story. When you get this far in the game, usually you have at least a couple other characters that you can still read for.
I had someone telling me the other day it doesn't make sense that Bakugou's dead because he has so much more to do. He's in a war fighting the strongest nigga. He's a 16. It makes perfect sense to me. Like I don't know.
He's 17 now.
Yeah, he's 17. He's 17. He's about 17. Yeah. This is my thing. So Tarnish, it's a good thing. This actually was great that this is brought up because now we can talk about what you was talking about in Crackhead Tarnish. Bro, it's happened before. And stop using as it's a manga that's the most popular. That does not guarantee anything. It does not guarantee anything. Okay.
Look at Chainsaw Man.
Like dead ass. And don't even use Fujimoto's just in the exception or he's the outlier. Okay then, bro. But he did it, right? So his point being if somebody could do it, then another person can do it. And it's not the first time that happens. So stop trying to use it.
My problem is really that niggas really act like yo, you can't do this. Like that. because it hasn't happened before. Oh yeah, remember that time this happened and this happened and this happened. So he's clearly not gonna. I'm like, bro, is this not like an ongoing series where like we watching it like?
Also, I want to point something out.
You want it to be the exact same as what you read before? Like, you kidding?
The legendary deleted tweet from the C2E2 executive. Keep in mind, I don't care what nobody tries to convince me. When I tell y'all that CyberConnect CEO that said that, oh, like what is going on in My Hero Academia right now? This is like taboo when he was talking about NBA. And there's a bunch of people who online who tried to pretend like I was making that up or like it had zero impact. But remember this, he deleted that tweet during season 5. He deleted that tweet during NBA, specifically during season 5. Now ask yourself this, why would a CEO delete a tweet calling an arc taboo from 2 years ago while that arc was on TV if that decision and that behavior didn't impact the way that the arc was handled?
Crickets.
The reality is this.
He said crickets.
Hori has already broken the taboos of Shonen Jump.
Thank you. Well, like Tyler said, with NBA, villain center arc, no other series did an entirely villain center arc in Shonen Jump magazine. We asked y'all, and yet y'all ain't got one.
Yo, and then y'all call Hori the subvert expectations king. Y'all always say, oh yeah, he always subverts expectations. How about the person that you think is the main rival getting a power up, trying to keep fighting and then dying, not being able to actually, like, you would think the whole time Shigaraki was talking to him, oh, you'll never be on Deku's level, you'll never be this. The shit y'all used to, he would get that power up and then, oh, Bakugou can fight Shigaraki, he is on that level. Son ass.
I'm gonna be real. The thing, you know what is secretly giving people hope, even though they don't realize this is where the hope is coming from? There's an old drawing of Bakugou like this. And do you know who he's replicating with that pose? Tony Stark.
I was about to say Iron Man.
Oh,
Tony Stark. A character who canonically has a heavily damaged heart and got something attached to it to make it work.
Yeah, he said during his character bio that Bakugou's heart was explosively petty.
Bro, so this is why I got to address a couple things in the chat. You go ahead.
No, because I thought like I missed Flutter talking about the fact that that muscles are fibers too, you know. So that normally it can be possible that
I don't think Genius can control that.
No, we don't know because what we know about Quirk is there is literally when you stay in your lane, you can. He's a fiber master. You know what I mean? So technically, if he really wants to, he can bend muscles because they're made of fibers. But that's the thing about it. It was something that I even talked about it sometimes. But we're gonna see if it happens or not. The only way, if you really want to save Bakugou, and that I can accept it, is that he learns right now to control the fibers of the human body. That will be that will be the only way, because
sure you're gonna allow him to do that.
So he would have to wait because they can't even. They all gassed out. They can't do that.
Who's giving Bakugou the blood that he lost?
Also, real quick, super chat.
Gina's about to pass out.
Mr. Moad coming through and saying this reminds me of when Kishi killed Neji.
Yes.
I mean,
no.
I wouldn't have compared to that.
So I got some things to say now too. Stop. It's a shonen. Stop. Stop using it as a precedent for everything. Why is that always y'all excuse? It's a shonen. It's a shonen. It's a shonen. So nobody's ever died in the shonen before? Nobody's ever died. Jiraiya came back. I'm confused. I don't remember that. But it's a shonen, right? So he hasn't come back. So it's like, we're not even going to count forward to whatever that is. I'm tired of y'all using it's a shonen, it's a shonen, it's a shonen. Good Lord. Stop saying that. Like
I got to defend Jiraiya from Fish real quick. Because it's not completely fair to say he got folded. He lost, but when you killed 3 out of the 6 people jumping you, I feel like that's not a folding.
I feel like I feel like you did a decent enough.
Yo,
thing.
And when you put damage on the strongest nigga in the manga and get him shook, you ain't get hold.
And let's be real. There's a reason why Kishimoto had Jiraiya purposely drop his body in the water. He wasn't letting nobody revive Jiraiya.
No reanimation. He kept that in because he knew he was gonna do that later. He was like,
exactly.
Yeah. He literally said that he didn't want to like draw Naruto seeing Jiraiya again because it was too good of a moment to take away. Like it was too much development, like just for that moment. He said he did that purposefully, like for real.
And let me address this too, real quick. Mega. If you have a problem with the execution, that's fine. But you need to acknowledge what is death. Anybody in your lives, I know everybody in their life has somebody most likely pass away at a rate. Like if you're over 15 or whatever, you've had somebody pass away, or you need to realize what the concept of death is. Somebody passes away, they don't come back. When you're fighting a war, life and death, the stakes are if I lose, I die. So you killing this nigga, they all confirmed he was just dead just now. You reviving this nigga takes away all agency and precedent because they're gonna be like, oh, well, Bako come back. I mean, I guess everybody can just come back because that's just what it's gonna be. So the moment you have in that time is nullified. So and y'all talk about, and you have to acknowledge it. So you're gonna talk about how Bakugou not doing shit, or that it's kind of ass, bro. Y'all realize when we came here, we already knew Shigaraki was at full power. No question.
Hold on. I just want to say something real quick. As we're talking about it's a shonen. I want to point out that like throughout this arc, and this is something that there's people have all kinds of random complaints about the anime. You know what my biggest complaint to this day, my most disliked scene in the entire My Hero Academia anime is?
What?
It's from Provisional License Exam where we get Momo's battle, which I don't have a problem with the way that fight went. I don't have a problem with that battle, but I have a problem specifically with like this 15-20 second part where Class 1A gives a speech about friendship. And on the surface, that just sounds like, oh, wow, you're just hating on the power of friendship, cliche on it. No, understand that before that like got stuffed into the anime, the first time somebody mentioned friendship and bonds and all that other stuff was the Trash Trio versus Amajiki.
Yes.
That was the first time somebody was talking about like the bonds of friendship and all this other stuff. The villains consistently are the ones whose power-ups are far more centered around like the ideas of what people are doing. Like Luffy got ACOC because he was filling it out as he got smacked with it. Instead of Shoto, Deku, Bakugou, any of these people getting a power-up because they were feeling it out as they get smacked with it, who gets a power-up because they was getting smacked with the power?
Villains.
Dabi. Like villains get the classic shonen power-ups in My Hero Academia.
Yo, Compress told twice, yo, you're acting more like a hero.
Exactly. He was like, because he was like, I'm gonna do what it takes to protect my friends. That's why, like, there was an old thumbnail that I did back when my channel first started, where I was talking about a Twice thing, and I edited it where I'm pretty sure I had Twice saying he was going to be the next Hokage.
And speaking,
hold on. Back to this Shiggy battle for a second too, because I gotta get this off my chest. He's brought this up. This was a great point. Yo, anybody at this battlefield right now, y'all got them taking Prime All Might?
Bro, I was about to go off on that tangent.
Be real.
Fuck no.
Be real. You have any of these people with, regardless of what they do, taking on Prime All Might?
No.
Like,
so keep the same energy with Shigaraki.
That's
keep
what
the exact same energy, because he keeps saying it over and over again. I am All Might. So keep the same energy with Shiggy. So honestly, if he's folding everybody at this battlefield, I'm cool with it now.
Exactly. That's what I keep saying.
It is what it is.
Because that's what I keep saying. I'm like, bro, y'all knew what it was. Like, bro, y'all niggas always saying Deku gonna be strong, he gonna be strong, he's gonna be strong. I already knew All Might was built different. I already knew Endeavor, the most powerful nigga out here, couldn't even stand up to All Might, especially like at a weekend All Might, not even a nigga in his prime. So if he was saying, they told you since the get-go, since NBA, Yo, he get this power. He coming back OD, strong. Nobody can stop him. Stop him before he wake up. Stop him before he re-enters. My body is complete. We knew this nigga was there. We seen him fight Stars and Stripes. We knew the nigga was right there to being complete. We knew he took out the strongest bitch in the series. You niggas knew what it was that they can't beat him. So we knew what they said. Whoa, without Deku, our key ace here, we basically just stalling for time. We'll strive for victory. And everybody laughed that panel. Nobody was like, oh, really took seriously. Bakugou gonna really do this nigga and take him out. You knew what happened when it got here. Like I said, it's not always what we want and not always what I want, but it's got to be logical for a point. I wanted Bakugou to go fight some other niggas. I'm not gonna lie about what I wanted, nigga. I'll tell you straight up. But if he had to be here logically for everything that happened in the story for Deku's character and everything in its entirety, stop looking at it as just one thing in its own. Look at everything in its entirety. That's what y'all got to start doing. And it's not always what we want, but it's for the betterment of the story. And I'll take that over like, which is what I want because it has different reasons. So y'all knew, and y'all gonna stop bullshitting saying he didn't do nothing, bro. He the only nigga that did damage to this nigga. And as a matter of fact, guess what? Maybe what if he did do a whole bunch of damage and weaken Shiggy? Then if Shiggy was weakened against Deku, y'all gonna be like, oh man, they hold Shigaraki again at the end. This made this way for this. Like, you would have had a problem with that.
Exactly.
Then if he would have did major damage again, guess what's gonna happen? Shigaraki's not fighting Deku without his quirks, bro. Guess what his major quirk is? Regeneration. So any damage these niggas did from the jump was not going to matter because guess what? The quirks are going to come back. He's going to regenerate. So from the start, if you actually looked at everything instead of just looking at what I want, you would have been like, hey, bro, realistically, he not going to fight Deku without his quirks. He just going to get that shit back. If Horikoshi wanted to fight without his quirks, he would have threw him here and beat him like that with jumping him. But if you knew he going to get his quirks back, he just going to regen. What does it even matter talking about he going to do? He the only nigga that even did damage. Y'all not taking into account because he didn't do more. You're not taking about what he did. So you're not really appreciating what Bakugou did and everything to his character. Don't look at 362 on its own. Look at all the first time we was at the battle, all the character development from then look at 362 and piece it together. Yeah, Horikoshi did all the chapters together and crescendo into Bakugou's death, but the twist was everybody thought the big three was going to die first. Then the twist was Bakugou. Y'all need to appreciate that everything Sonny did for his flashback didn't even fucking phase Shigaraki. But that nigga Bakugou without his quirk, and they told him he can't amount to that nigga, despite their odds, made that nigga Shigaraki press. So that's why I fuck with that death too, bro. If you don't like it, that's fine, but don't downplay what he did and the importance of what he did, because he had that nigga press when nobody else did, and he did it.
That's also one of the things that I and you know, Fish, you know exactly what I mean when I say it's similar to agenda piece.
Well,
where Bakugou was objectively hooping and somehow people were cracking jokes online like ha ha ha, like bro, did you just, we gonna pretend like that attack wasn't as big as UA?
Like
we're gonna pretend like if that attack hadn't hit UA itself, that shit wouldn't have been like whoop, gone.
Oh, Aniki, people be doing their agendas. Like we even saw Sun Eater's most powerful shit. It went flying past out the barrier, all that. Did nothing to Shigaraki. It's like, what are we even talking about?
Like, if any, and like, it's very clear because like, and the thing that blows the mind away about this is that when Bakugou got his arm broken, it was specifically because Melvin was like, I'm not going to directly give you props. I'm going to talk about the mechanics of what you did. And then I'm going to say, you got to lose your arm. Because he was acknowledging Bakugou without trying to acknowledge Bakugou. He was trying to say, yes, you're proficient, you are deadly, you are dangerous, and that's why I gotta pack you up. And he was saying it,
that back, man.
And he was trying to say, like, oh yeah, it's just about Deku. But no, it wasn't just about Deku. He was worried. The man had a random PTSD episode before he managed to kill him. He was worried, he was pressed.
He broke his gauntlet. Like he was really trying to weaken him, and he was really trying to mess with his mind. Like, cause he knew, like, yo, you probably really have an issue with Deku. Like I saw y'all together last time, the things y'all went through. He tried to play with his head. He was like, yeah, you'll never be like that nigga. Not in a million years. Break him down, bro. He tried everything to fully make him like not fight anymore.
And that's just like kind of, so it's like for like as wild as it is, this actually isn't that terrible of, because if you think about it, back during the war arc, Deku actually had Shigaraki looking like this, like, oh no, please, stay. Like, so he did, in a sense, catch up to 100% One for All in that moment. He just also died. Like, he died hitting a new peak. And is it sad? Yes, but that's kind of the point.
Like, look, that's the best way for this type of character to go out, man. You go out swinging. You go out with one last blaze of glory. You can't ask for better. And honestly, that really fits who he is, because like he's very to the point. He was always shooting for number one, even if it destroyed him. Like that's something he specifically says during
final exams.
Like, this is who he is. So I'm glad that, like, yeah, it's sad, but he stayed true to this character. And that's, I think, something that Horikoshi is very good at, that people don't really think of, is that the characters you see at the start, for the most part, are the same people that you see later in the series, because a lot of authors, they'll introduce a character and they have certain traits, but, as it goes on, find they don't really like writing certain parts of them, so they change them altogether. I can't entirely recall, like, Hori's done that a few times, but they've been very small cases. For the most part, like, he has a very clear idea of where everybody is and what they're going to do. And this is also the reason Bakugou doesn't have an endgame villain, because he was kind of the sacrificial lamb you would throw at the final boss. So,
and that was a question a lot of us had the entire time. We were like, oh yeah, there's no clear, direct one-to-one matchup for Bakugou. And I think that, like, looking back on it, that was his biggest death flag.
Yeah, because like Shigaraki keeps saying, I am the same as All Might. I'm on All Might's level. And you'll notice that after All For One got defeated, instead of thinking, like, changing up his whole approach, he just thinks, oh, I'm just gonna model my vessel after All Might now, because if that's new standard in town, that's what I'm gonna be. But anyways, like, as far as this goes, where was I? Like, oh, Bakugou, like, he's constantly saying, I'm going to surpass All Might. Who's he go up against? He goes up against an All Might level opponent, right? So, like, that was his true litmus test. And, even if, like, because like you said, Aniki, he had Shigaraki shook, like, All For One, like, despite what he says. And you see this in Star and Stripe. It's not just All Might he's scared of. He's scared of all heroes. Yeah, it's just that All Might embodies that pure heroic drive so strongly and so blatantly. Like, that's what draws his attention. But, like, he's scared of all of them. He doesn't want to admit it.
No, yeah, because like even if you look at it, because he was basically like, oh no, New Order's coming. I have to gamble, because he was terrified.
It's over.
He was terrified of them tag teaming him. And honestly, if you put Star and Stripe at Uegashima with Bakugou, they probably win, actually. Like, it didn't even need One For All for them to hit that level. That's how powerful that quirk is, in conjunction with the performance we're seeing out of these other characters. We saw All For One beg Endeavor to stop before he got hit with that prominence burn. And
you want to bring up One Piece now? I got some beef with One Piece.
Oh,
let's leave that for another time. Wano ending was okay.
I completely plan to do a Wano space this week, so especially because I'm off.
Yeah. Like, I'm still off for the summer, so I want
to have it tomorrow, Aniki, please.
Let's see. I should be able to do it tomorrow, actually, like Monday night.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, let me say this then. Well, Mega, if you say it was poor execution, that's different. But a death wasted, that's fun. That's kind of contradicting what you're saying, because you're like, all right, it don't matter. Is it bad if he come back? I don't think it's bad if he comes back. But bro, if he come back, that was a whole wasted event for no apparent reason. There's a way to fake out a death, and and then you can make it work coming back. And like Amir said earlier, they keep focusing on his heart, and that this just seemed like they just trying to show us that they can bring him back. No, the point of focus on his heart is that bro, we have X-ray execution, Mortal Kombat style. Finish him type, like through the chest, exploded, shredded to pieces, poked, like pierced, ravaged.
Yeah.
How many like adjectives do we need to use to describe and show you on page what happened to his heart? And people are still saying he could come back. So imagine he just got poked without
heart being taken out and being dead. Yeah.
exactly.
Also-
like we literally seen it, and they still
Also,
trying to make ways
Tanisha
to
brings
bring
up a good point because she pointed out that like I think the wild he'll get revived theories is a manifestation of cynicism. The "I died but I got better" trope was used by other authors one too many times. And the thing is that the best execution of that trope is Shaman King because it was built into the power system where you were supposed to be able to go in a death state so that you can go into hell, up your Furyoku, and then come back stronger. Whereas a lot of other series, it's kind of like fake out the death, have the character seem dead, maybe remove them from play for a while, and then be like, return from a different dimension. Which is that still banned? I think it's still banned in Yu-Gi-Oh. But
the thing about it is just like I told you guys, for me, Bakugou is dead.
Yeah, bro.
You know what's
Bakugou
crazy?
is dead.
Yeah, I'm
It's
looking at-
painful.
Looking
Okay.
at him getting bodied, it was really just like,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just saw like maybe the funniest
Yeah.
tweet to come out of this chapter. All for One has his bare ass out in the wind, and he's talking about violating already.
nah,
Crazy.
the Viz hit for that part, bro. The Viz hit for that part.
No,
Bro, like I said, bro, nigga got his whole schlong out, bro. When I say
no,
this is bro,
nigga, what?
nigga, bro, this
I understand why. I understand
Bro.
why. No, the other guy, Hawks has his eyes wide open, man.
I hope he's got.
one.
I hope he's got like a clothes producing Quirk or something.
Something. I hope he at least has his pants on. Please don't be
Nah,
naked.
nah,
nigga,
nah,
for real.
nah,
Nah, I want them shits off.
Let him
What?
Be cheap. Let him be cheap out.
wait.
Hey, bro,
You heard me?
Yo, listen. If he cheeks out and Hori draw it enough, like to where it's like, oh, it's covered perfectly, I'll be fine with it. If
Bro,
you
it's-
do some godly shit in the air,
it's gonna be
No.
hey, bro, we're off one in the sky. It's gonna be also like, you know how like the anime scene censor like, wow, like, but if like it's like the cloud when they in the bathhouse like, wow, and it's gonna be like off one's like or around things gonna be like, it's gonna be the backdrop, his ass cheeks. In the front, it's not gonna be like the eerie, like reversing just that part until he gets some clothes, so you can't see his slong. Hey, bro, listen.
Bro.
Hey, listen. Y'all talking about seeing miracle booty cheeks? Let the shawties and the other homies get off one cheek.
You know what? You're right. You know what? You're right.
Hey, let everybody get
That's
some.
fair.
Let everybody eat, bro.
That is fair.
Okay, so Alves said exactly what I was about to bring up. Because you remember when Shigaraki woke up, he was like, damn, I'm cold. Give me that shit.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, he was on some Black Air Force energy during.
Yeah, what if
So-
was still somebody drip?
What if he?
That's what I'm saying.
What if he still Hawks jacket him like, damn, this shit kind of small. Hey,
Like, because I don't see Off One being like, I'm gonna just stand around naked. Like the man is. Actually, I take that back.
I see
That
him
man is
doing that.
shameless.
I see him doing. Yeah, you capping, bro.
Yeah, no, he's shameless. He'll be like, look at this body. Now look at yours.
Look at the body. Stop, bro.
He gonna be like, I ain't feel like this in 5 years.
He gonna be like,
This man gonna start doing stretches mid-air, like.
Guys, you have to understand something. We get to understand something. I don't know what Horikoshi is doing, but Jiro just saw niggas 2 times in 1 year. She just saw 2 niggas.
She saw Miriam naked, and now she's about to see all 4 booty cheeks.
hey man, listen, this is just a part of growing up, youth, man.
Yeah. What if all 4 clap his hands? He teleport. He got a new fit. He teleport back. Like I'm.
He's taking Endeavor's fit, bro.
Nah, he don't want it. He want NG coat that NG had when Deku was Ochiko was giving her speech.
Yeah, speaking of Endeavor, on him on that last page, his face is blurred out. He must embarrassed.
Oh my god,
bro!
Like,
if we talk,
cannot see his face.
You go ahead. You go ahead, vote.
So like, I think between all the crazy stuff, like, so we have our question answered where everybody is. Like they told us like they had the evacuation shelter and they were moving, but they are confirmed to be moving. Like we actually saw it. So as far as that goes, the spies, the moles. I'm wondering if it's going to be like one of those. It's like the Dark Knight, where there's a scene on a boat, and like I mean, it's a bit different because Joker's trying to prove a point, and I think All for One is trying to prove something of a point as well. Where he's like, oh, everybody just secretly wants power and are selfish on the inside. I think that would be a good opportunity for like Fuyumi to step in, because like she's a teacher, right? Like she's a very empathetic person, and she's sort of tying, like she holds her family together in a lot of ways. I think it would be a great moment for her if like those people were prepared to try something, and she actually spoke to them and got them to stand down. Because like, just as a suggestion, I don't know if that's going to happen specifically, but I'd like to see something to that effect. Even if
I do think these folks have to make a choice. Where they have to honestly sit there and ask themselves, do we want to betray these people, these civilians, in hopes of All for One treating us well in the future?
Oh, you guys are talking about All for One spies?
Yeah. The dissenters, because that is a plot point that I think has to come into play in a major way. Just like us having, because like my thing is that ultimately these people probably don't have good quirks. So what I kind of expect is the kids to whoop these dudes' asses. That's kind of what I want. I want Big Balls to be like, oh, you're betraying us?
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it
some guy comedy in the middle of the war.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I kind of fuck with that. But especially because I think those are the scrubs that might just get washed out. But that'll probably be that moment of hope, like when the Venos, because the Venos are on the offensive now. They finna start violating niggas.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're gonna be violating niggas from every field we have for a long stretch of chapters. So I think it's gonna have to swap back over. The heroes have a little bit of hope.
Oh, Joseph asked the question: does All for One being rewound mean he no longer has search and other quirks?
That's what I believe.
I was gonna speak on that.
I think that he is currently using the kit we saw him use, like when he was fighting Nana. Because they made it a point to bring it up in Camino.
So I'm gonna talk about that.
He had to sacrifice some quirks.
That'd be so awesome though, because like
took off someone.
Like because Deku is going to be going up against the All for One that All Might went up against, right? So, like right at his peak when he got he smashed his head in, and also All Might got his stomach ripped out. So
I feel like either that point, or see between the Nana point or at that All Might Prime shit. At those 2 points. Because I don't think him and All Might didn't even fight until like damn near 4 years later.
Nana didn't die 5 years ago. It really depends on how far the rewind is.
Yeah, but to speak on that, this is another thing that's, once again, pay attention to all the tools that Horikoshi uses to blend everything together. Now he don't need search though, because he got a Monoma on the battlefield with him, and they also got Skeptic. So when Skeptic start telling niggas like, oh, tomorrow Shigaraki's over here at UA, hi, in this location, like, you're like over here, go this way, like this, that, and other. Like now I start to see like all the pieces really start coming together. You really attach them into each other.
Yo, that's really crazy, because he might not have radio waves anymore, so he can't even really communicate with his besties the same way, possibly.
Yeah. Oh, see, look, all the shit. Look, I tell you, all the pieces gonna start coming together, bro. It's like
that was how they connected with radio waves. You know what I mean? He might not have that quirk.
Which the other thing that I do kind of want to point out is that this kind of confirms that Aries immortal. Like as long as her brain functions, she's immortal.
I almost spoiled something about it.
That would be wild for part 2.
I almost spoiled something about Invincible, but I keep my mouth
shut. Because Eri does have a pretty broken quirk.
Because think about this: we didn't know for sure if rewind can be self-targeting. AFO wasn't even sure if it would be functional as a self-targeting quirk. But now that we know that, Eri could hit 80 years old and be like, no arthritis for me.
Yo, East, I know what you talking about.
Yeah! Yeah!
I got spoiled on that too. No comment though. But Dabi, listen. Even if Eri can't do it like by herself, she can find a way with technology.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Also, I know about Adam Eve's abilities. So
okay, I figured that's what y'all was talking about.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say. I ain't want to say it, but like
I don't even read it. I just got scared.
I randomly looked into it the other day.
Yeah, if you know, you know. That shit was
crazy. But
that was crazy as shit.
What if All For One is in his like real like 193 flashback body? Like, what if he went that far back? Like
Alves, if you're curious, message me. Carrie Pookie. Honestly, I'm gonna address this right now. You already know where I stand on part 2. But there's somebody in here that has a good head on their shoulders, right? And they not. Don't worry, Melo. I'll never spoil. I might hint, and that's why I say if you know, you know. But there's somebody here that I want to discuss this very, very briefly because this person is not by any means a stretch a goofball. Actually, highly intelligent. So I call none other than Volker to the stand. Come on down. This is me and a Volk discussion, people.
Yes.
Now, Volk, when you say you acknowledge Horikoshi's prowess as a writer, correct? And how everything in this series has been logical and consistent from start until now, correct?
It's one of my favorite things.
Exactly, correct. So, in the standard that we have set, do you believe there is room for a part 2? Because when we always talked about time skip, would it even ever make sense to have academia in the title if we're adults and we're already grown as pro heroes? That wouldn't even make sense in the title. So you can be honest about there being leeway that it's this portion of the series ending in a year is precedent for room. There's still room for My Hero itself. Because at the current situation in which the heroes stand, Deku's still not truly ready for Shigaraki. And by the way, the heroes are looking now, they're kind of outmatched. They would need a lot of justification just to pull some stuff that's not bullshit to win in something. A lot of ass pulls to even pull stuff that's not based off what we know they got and the stuff they can probably pull. That's not even that much, which is bare scraps compared to the villains being fully stacked. And people always ask, well, how did they escape or do this and other? Bro, you already know how Star Wars exists, right? They killed off all the Jedi, like basically, essentially. But the rebellion exists and they fought back and they did plans here and there. It's not going to be a direct, we going back to war. It's like we have strategically, we're underground. We're doing this, we're doing that, we're hiding now. It's like the villain taking over is not like an impossible, unimaginative feat. It happened in Infinity War for few sake, but then they ran it back. It's all about how you think and perceive this thing can go. So you acknowledge that there's definitely room precedent for part 2, correct?
Yeah, there's two routes I think he can go, and I think both still leave room open for part 2. One, he ends the whole All For One, Shigaraki, Tenko, League of Villains. He ends it right here, and you can still feasibly do a part 2 after because the world is that well realized. Let's take Harry Potter for instance. That series is notorious for its bad world building. And that's left JK in a very bad spot with all these different projects she tries. Like things just don't line up. And that's a result of her pretty flaky world building. Horikoshi's world building is rock solid. Like you see so many other countries and locales. Like the biggest glimpse we got of it was in movie 3, and whether or not you want to argue the canonicity of it, that's still giving us a glimpse into what the world operates as. There's the other possibility which you discussed, and this is the end of like the academia portion and like some villains escape for part 2. I'd be open to either. Like I think for right now, he has been in this grind for over 8 years now. Like, and remember, authors before they premiere their first chapter, they are coached for 6 months and walk through each step of the process about how to conduct their series. Initially, he wanted Deku to be quirkless. In that 6-month period leading up to chapter 1, he scrapped that and he came up with One for All and All for One. So now, he's been at even longer than 8 years, kind of closer to 9 years, and then there are his previous series. I think right now, more than anything, you just need to consider his state of mind. He wants to end at least a step of his journey in the right way. If he wants to finish it for good, I'm good with that. If he wants to extend it past this, and personally, I think he's going to get the itch to extend it in some degree, whether Deku's still the protagonist or not. Like we were just discussing Eri, like she could be immortal. Like she's very likely immortal. There's a lot of questions, right? And so I think even if he does tie it into a bow with like, oh, Shigaraki off one defeated, and you fast forward 10 years, he's still gonna think up some ideas he can still do even after this next horror series he's gonna plan.
Okay.
Right. Like never say never. Like I think there's precedence, but I think more so right now he's focused on taking it easy. As I gotta tell you something, man. The shit they feed you about relaxing after working hard, it's kind of 50-50.
Yeah. No, it is.
It's kind of 50-50, even if you're on top. So
and I kind of want to touch on some of the stuff you're mentioning, Volk, real quick. Because you asked about the established precedent within like manga and Jump and more or less Shueisha in general, because you have like Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re, and then you have Chainsaw Man and Chainsaw Man Part 2. But when we look at My Hero specifically, there's one, we know he wants to draw them as adults. We've heard him talk about that, like getting to draw them as fully actualized heroes. And with Quirk singularity theory being a hot topic and all that other stuff, in this series, it kind of feels like defeating Shigaraki, defeating AFO just moves that doom date for society back a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
And so we also have, and then when you talk about like how he wants to do like a horror series and all these other things, we could easily transition into a series that, even if like, Volk mentioned, maybe we don't have Deku take center stage in that sequel series, and instead we focus more on like lower powered people, while understanding that Deku is still in the verse and he's around occasionally. But more or less, if we're upping the horror aspects, we're going to have more people doing stuff like Nomu, more like country, like hopping, stuff like that. Because if All For One truly has all these connections around the world, it makes sense that he would have contact with other scientists too.
Yeah. And like he's kind of established All For One as like the most powerful villain in the verse. Well, feasibly, they souped up Shigaraki and he got the Quirk. There could be some other like villains on his level around the world, because like we've really only seen Japan for the most part, aside from glimpses, Island, MHA World Heroes Mission, like very brief glimpses. He could establish there is another couple villains on All For One's level.
See, that's my thing too. I was going, Aniki, thank you for mentioning that too. I was going to mention about that's another thing with part 2. You would ask, well, how does Deku, or who Deku gonna be fighting, this, that, and the other. Not only would be multiple characters that Shigaraki is expanding his influence outside Japan at this point, right? There'll be multiple characters that, bro, if Star, like I told you, like remember we ranked Endeavor, right? I know you're here for this discussion, but we said if Endeavor, last chapter we boosted him way up, right? But we said in the worldwide spectrum, Endeavor could only be top 15 out of top 10 heroes in the world if we're ranking. Because we don't know who scales how. Because if Horikoshi says, I'm bringing this character from this country and they could do this and they show better feats than Endeavor, you can't really say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like Cassie coming and being who she is, you can't really say nothing because like, oh, we were set up this and other, but they exist.
Because, do you remember the thing that I always said was the big clue that a character like Cassie could show up at any moment? It was the Pro Hero arc where specifically you look back and All Might is always referred to as the number one hero in the world. But when Endeavor becomes the number one hero, he's exclusively referred to as the number one hero in Japan.
And that's my thing about the comics coming out too, is like, bro, there are definitely some people that can scale up to Endeavor's level that have probably been taken out by either Endeavor in a hard ass fight, like a hood level fight, or taken out by All Might. And just because you've been taken out by All Might like this, like snap of a finger, doesn't mean you can't beat Endeavor or you can't pose a threat to a bunch of other people. So it's just in that same vein. So like if we get part 2, Deku still ain't 100%, but he very close to there, right? But you could have niggas from all around the world level up with boost and more like 2-3 years later on. It's like, all right, now we have powerful people.
You know how the big 3 are sort of like a big like Deku is paired up with Mirio, and Ochako is paired up with Nejire.
Yep.
When you really think about it, like I think the new big 3 would also kind of follow that setup, like 2 boys, 1 girl.
Yeah.
Like it kind of seemed like, we're gonna have all boys big 3, Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki. Bakugo not there anymore. So I think Ochako might take that spot.
So I've been waiting for one of these. Ochako has, and I don't like where Ochako is fighting right now. I know why she's at this location, but one of her best moves is one that she does not have access to, and that's specifically the Comet Home Run. We have not seen it since, battle training art all the way back, within the first 10, 15 chapters of the series. But the idea of her being able to like float large things and then shift their weight mid like attack is actually really powerful. Like imagine her picking up skyscrapers and then whipping them and then releasing the gravity.
Imagine Yue falling and she's there to like lift it up.
Stuff like that.
That'd be insane. Like she got some support with those little. She would have to have some super jet boost though. Like how Dabi had.
Hey, Hatsume had it on her.
Yeah, so like like she got some super jet boots. Deal with the weightless shit. Yeah. So, but I'm glad we had this conversation, Volk. So now y'all get to see like sophisticated conversation. Now we brought up our points so everybody can see like somebody who has a good head on their shoulders. Volk, was a mind of like, okay, this is probably the end of it, and this makes me sad. And then you got me, who's hardcore part 2. But as you see, we can come to a middle when people have civilized conversations.
Yeah. I'm just open to anything, like I whatever, like as a writer myself, like it does get tough figuring things out, and he's constantly in the process of putting stuff out week after week. So I just want whatever he's going to be happiest with.
Yeah, whatever's best for him.
Yeah, whatever he's happiest with, even if he ends it right here, that's going to ensure he produces his best work, right?
Yeah, basically. That's what I said. Like, you know what? Hey, at the end of the day, as long as he's happy, I'm not going to betray my nigga like, oh, you bastard, you betrayed me in part 2. No, fuck no. I'm just saying there was set up. The math for me is not mathing on everything ending here based off everything he's shown me, power scale, right, and strategic setup. So I'm just like, math not mathing until the fat lady singing Toga out and Shigaraki slumped and dead. That's when I say, all right, ain't no part 2. But until then, yeah. So appreciate this conversation. But honestly, at the end of the day, I'm a nigga. So that's enough sophistication for me. Talk about reactions. Playboy. Bakugou just died. Prime off one back. That nigga on my face for to be ugly.
Oh yeah, no.
Yo,
I think there's a reason why we didn't get to see the results of the niggas who jumped All Might. And I very much chalk it up to him basically having an Iron Man suit in that case. Because if you guys remember, there's that Avengers scene where like Tony's got the like suitcase and then he like opens it up and it's like, oh, there's an Iron Man suit in here. And it like forms onto him. And you remember like All Might did have gear that was kind of like a bulky ass armor. So I could see him having used that to beat those dudes because those dudes had a relatively low tier quirk. Like it just seemed like one of them was throwing out thunder spears from AOT. But
son trash.
But like with All Might, if he tries to get to this battlefield, I still think he pulls up to the one where Shigaraki's at instead of the one where AFO is at, just because I think that's the villain who's going to kill him, because otherwise Night Eye, knows what AFO looks like. So he just would have said, all for one is going to kill you. He's not dead.
It got to be the nigga.
He still should have known that from seeing his future though.
But by the time we don't know what Shigaraki's going to look like, because we don't even know we don't even know if his hair turned back black or some crazy transformation might happen again.
I mean,
by the time.
I mean, he said like when he goes into the future, things get more and more murky.
So
he would. So maybe he would just assume that maybe like Masked All For One is a different villain that he had a tough fight with or something like that.
Because look at Shigaraki with the hands scrunched over. Actually, they didn't even know who Shigaraki was like back then.
Yeah,
his hand, the hand on his face, that wasn't just like a design thing. They really didn't know what man's looked like. Like they said that in like the ultra analysis, his bare face was unknown for the longest.
And then you got to think by the time he comes back with his hair long, like we didn't even know what Shigaraki would look like by the end of the series, right? So like his hair long, flow like silky smooth, like he fucking suffer off of some shit with some different type of drip on, and then like God knows what, and then all you can basically really make out is All Might dying, and like you said, that's years in the future. So it's just like I kind of see why you didn't know what a nigga Shigaraki looked like. His hair is different. He's a completely different person. New transformation.
Literally,
so it's like,
look at his arm. Look at his arm. Literally, right now, if he kills Oman by just literally taking, he's like shredding his arms and legs from his body. Man, you don't recognize a nigga with that type of arm. Literally, look at this woman, or Bunny girl. Look at her. She
about to die. I'm glad
get
you
strapped.
brought that up. I'm really glad you brought that up because I wanted to talk about like that battlefield again real quick. Just something quick on page 3. Nejire looks distraught. Nejire can't fight no more. Her morality is broken. Because she saw Sun Eater's attack do nothing. She was the one who was like, how? Why didn't it do anything? She is defeated right now, Nejire. That you got the hand on the floor, like, damn, Nejire.
Yeah, like everybody, like every hero always comes in the nick of time. This is like Naruto, where Pain did the almighty push, and and Naruto came before, came in the nick of time, and of course, like was able to convince Pain to revive everybody. This is a very different situation where, like All For One has made it clear he's not gonna revive anybody. Shigaraki, he's not gonna revive anybody.
No.
So props to my boy Mirio, because if you look, he's still going.
He angry. Ain't nobody at that battlefield more mad than him right now. Aizawa broken, Gina's broken. Miracle's mad, but Mirio is frustrated at himself.
I mean, you also
he
gotta
said
think,
it. He was like, I'm not gonna let nobody die, and Bakugou died. He's mad.
He's still Deku's senpai, right? So like, and he took him under his wing during overhaul, so that extends to his friends. Bakugou dying means he's pretty much failed, like, for them to hold out until.
And you remember what he said at the meeting: save 1 million people. You couldn't even save one little girl.
Yeah.
So he really hate himself now. Speaking of who's Mega? You was talking about Genus.
Wait, my fault, East. You know what's crazy too? Like there was that small interaction with Bakugou and Mirio in the last war where he laughed at his hero name. Like that little tiny moment, bro, and he failed to save him. It's crazy.
Yeah, so
Janus is not fixing that man's heart.
Yeah, I was about to say that he's glaring. He's glaring at Shigaraki.
The cope I have seen.
It's insane.
I love it. I love the cope.
It's over, man. Like he can't.
I'm not
like,
gonna
okay,
say the muscle fiber thing is impossible, but he has not shown me that he can do that. So
replacing the blood.
Here's the thing with the muscle fibers, because it's screwed on both accounts. One, if he can do that, why didn't he do that before? Like there are tons of times when people were injured. He had a hole in his chest. We never seen him use it.
What about the blood loss? What are we doing for Bakugou's blood loss?
Yeah.
Who's putting blood back? Toga's gonna give Bakugou some blood.
And if he awakens his quirk right here,
he can do that for me.
And if he has a quirk awakening and that's one of his abilities, then anybody can just pull a healing ability out of their butt.
No. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about him having a quirk awakening? He's like a pro hero. Like, if you want to give a quirk awakening to somebody, let that be a student. He's a grown man. Like
the other thing I want to say about this though is that if he were to get muscle fiber attached to his fiber master ability, his job would still not be to be saving Bakugou right now.
And that's
it
like,
would be to manipulate Shigaraki's muscle fibers and make him collapse in on himself.
Exactly. And plus, it's like I see the funny ass tweet though. That was like, so when did Genius become a heart surgeon? That was crying because I was like, you know what? You got a point too, because the heart is a very delicate thing. You have to go. I don't think you listen, bro. You throw me on the field, I don't think I could just fucking. You throw me in an open heart surgery thing. I don't think I could just. All right,
you don't get on the job training for that.
Yeah, you don't get on the job training. I don't think I could just. You throw me on the job. All right, East, go ahead, take this heart out, replace it, and cut these pieces off and replace this.
He ain't got no pulse.
And Tarnish, you had brought this up before. You had said even if Bakugou did come back, Shigaraki would just kill him again. He'd just keep going for Bakugou.
That's what I've been saying.
That's the reason Bakugou went up against him in the first place. Like he charged him. He's like, I'm not gonna wait around and wait for him to kill me. I'm just gonna charge this right on.
He was like, that's why he told take care of the others. Because Bakugou also understood that no matter what happens, he is the target. So you're better off trying to help other people get an opportunity than trying to protect me, because you're just gonna die trying to protect me. Meanwhile, I scale over you. So
I'm nicer than you.
Okay, be honest though, because think about it. Everybody else who has gotten in touch range with Shigaraki, besides Mirio, who specifically has a quirk that lets him not be untouchable, has not been able to point blank dodge an attack from Shigaraki.
Bro,
it just is what it is.
Bro, Genis couldn't even catch him on the fucking rebound.
Like I said, he scales higher than him. It just is what it is.
And on that page, like we said, he's glaring at Shigaraki. He's about to try to tee up. I think a lot of people are gonna try to tee up. Nejire and Sunny, they having a timeout right now. They looking like edge shot to me.
They only edge shot a Miracle. They like, all right,
they having a time. They're having a timeout. Mirio about to get in the mix. Gina's about to get in the mix. And
it's the fact that shoelace ain't even in the spread of people reacting, bro.
Yeah, all trying to save him. I need edge shot out of here.
Off principle. Show me this dead shoelace somewhere, please, Hori.
Even Genius had wires everywhere.
He wasn't even in that panel, but you knew he was doing something.
Because when he's like this utter monster, Aizawa, Mirio, Nejire, get the answer to what's going on with Miracle the next page. Shoelace, nowhere to be found.
Bro, I'm telling you, the only way he can redeem himself is if he comes out of Shigaraki's body and says, "I tried," and there was no killing him. That's the only redemption for him right now.
Hey, look, Alves, he disrespecting himself.
We need to bring the G-string allegations back.
No Kizzy.
He really is looking like that. My man on some dental floss duty or something. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh God,
because this just ain't it.
My man Sunny spitting out blood. He got fucked up bad.
Exactly.
He got done bad. Gina's got done. Yo, people forget that Shigaraki really said to Gina's, "Yo, you're one hit away from knocking out. How are you still up after that hit?"
I told you, bro. Listen, bro, because we all know how. Why we playing? Cockroaches are the most resilient creatures on this earth, and that nigga ain't nothing but a big ass cockroach. You see his cousin at JJK last
Kuroshi.
That nigga Kuroshi and General Grievous are all related. Big ass cockroaches that you cannot.
We are talking about JJK. Why not? Did you just?
I'm talking about another character that was a roach. They just them motherfuckers don't. And General Grievous, they all cousins. Nigga don't die. That nigga best genius up there with General Grievous for me. I ain't never seen a bigger fucking fraud in my life than General Grievous.
He's really a celebrity, bro. Honestly,
that nigga is a big ass cockroach, especially General Grievous punk ass. All he do is talk.
Kenobi, we'll beat you today.
What's crazy? Even Skeptic called that nigga out this chapter. He had a flashback to that fucking press conference. He was like, "Bum ass niggas trying to stick to the old generation."
He's like, "We finna wash you niggas away." It's funny how old niggas talking about getting rid of old niggas. That's probably one of the funniest thing to think.
That's the thing though. Like they want to like leave the kids behind because they have the least experience, and I just take those guys out. So
also, again, what's crazy is that if you look at it though, Skeptic doesn't hold malice towards Hawks. Because why did he leave Hawks out of there? Hawks was at the press conference too.
Hawks
He honestly, I'm gonna keep it a stack. The thing about Skeptic, this is the part about him that's fucked up. He blames that on Twice because he knew.
He did twice. He did twice
He
right
had
in his
the
mouth.
Yeah, he had the recording, so he was like, even when the war first started last time, he was like, "Jin, you messed up. It wasn't me. It was you, nigga. It was you that fucked up." So he don't.
Yeah.
He blamed that on Twice. He's like, man, that's your.
Hey, listen, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm about to put my cape on. Skeptic. I mean, if you was watching the shit though, would this have really happened?
If you was on point, nigga.
Yeah,
like,
you watched the bugs though. But let me stop putting my cape on. I can't wait till Twice do his shit. But bro, listen. Chizaki ain't got no goddamn arms.
He has nothing. Ari wouldn't even rewind that bum.
Bro,
what are we talking about?
Bro, I need y'all to stop trying to go.
Rewind only works on the living.
I invented it, bro.
I need y'all.
Nah. Now hold up, time out. Volt, can you please say that again?
Rewind only works on the living.
If he, it does not work on inanimate objects, which is a corpse.
Bro, I'm gonna say it like this. It would have to, if Overhaul could bring you back from that, it would have to be very immediately. All right,
5 minutes, I think, was the limit.
He literally like when he was killing niggas, and y'all want to use the whole oxygen to the brain, this and other. It had to be very instantaneously. You reverting it back. But let's say this out loud. All right, let's put this out loud. They would have to tell them niggas, hey, bring Chizaki to Eri. Pull Eri from underground. Eri go meet Chizaki. Mind you, none of these niggas are anywhere in the UA in the sky because UA isn't even at the base. It's on some waterfront shit.
Can't get there.
Nowhere
Man,
near.
why are we still talking about this shit?
That's what I'm saying.
No, because I want to say this out loud. I want to say this out loud to realize how ridiculous it sounds. Y'all need to stop reaching. They would have to. They would have to have Chizaki go over here to Eri. Eri rewind this nigga, give him back his arms, and then as she somehow got some more charge, go back, give him his arms. Go. And then they would have to travel. After that, they would have to travel all the way back to where UA is at floating in the sky, which is nowhere near these niggas anyway. And they'd be like, "All right, y'all. Now we gonna revive."
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that? It's on site for Overhaul if Shigaraki see him.
Exactly. So, bro, you can't even use the 10-minute excuse to nigga. That's just that take a damn near an hour to do all that shit. Unless you got somebody warping and moving at light speed.
Nah, it's really on site for Chisaki, so is he not even gonna get the chance?
No. Seriously, guys, you just have to think about this, okay? Calmly. Guys, Bakugou, he's dead. Technically, he's dead in the story. Don't think away about trying to bring him back alive, okay? Just follow the story, okay? If he comes back alive through some bullshit or through some real shit, we don't know. But just follow the story, because right now you're just making your life more difficult. Because you think that they're gonna take a baby-ass girl that is amper 7 years old on the battlefield with a nigga that can literally spawn new hands, from his fingers, even in most of his fingers. Please, guys, respect yourself. Respect your intelligence.
Man, no wonder Ragnarok exists and they be talking about humans need to be eradicated because they some selfish, greedy ass niggas.
I mean,
Y'all
to
want
be
them
honest,
to take that little.
I mean, listen, if we gonna keep it a stack, we knew how dumb these niggas was when toilet paper was sold out.
Oh God.
Damn.
Like, bro, y'all gonna bring y'all. This is what y'all tell me. Y'all gonna y'all gonna take a 5-year-old girl from her elementary school while she playing in pre-K with her friends because she got the power to do something. You gonna take her into the middle of a war zone when ain't none of y'all got no combat capabilities?
And man,
The wildest thing about this is like
they want to Itachi 2.0. They want to Itachi 2.0.
Why do they think that like people are gonna be like, Eri, you're our only hope? Now I understand you're 6 years old and don't even understand the difference in holidays
For
and other things
Bakugou,
like that.
for Katsuki Bakugou.
Like, but come on.
It wouldn't even matter if Horikoshi confirmed it. Niggas
And-
still gonna be like, he could come back some way.
Personally, I believe that Aries' stockpile is based on regret. So I don't even think she has anything saved up right now. I think her stockpile that she uses is regret, like the idea of wanting to go back, wanting to fix things, wanting to change things. Because it's like when she went back to Overhaul and when she was thinking back about how she could have left with Mirio, that her power like popped off and rewound Overhaul out of the forearm form. And I said this over a year ago. Aries' power more than likely relies on her regretting or having negative feelings about the past in order for it to accumulate that. So she can go back.
Tag team with Aniki.
You know what?
You think the same thing?
That up? You know what backs that up, low key? I don't know if it's the same thing, but she said she was training for Mirio. She felt bad about him losing his power.
Okay. So guess what? I'm about to alley-oop off that. Guess who was just screaming no right before they got burnt to a crisp? Betting on their gamble. Because he didn't have no regrets. He was talking shit that whole time. And this nigga kept getting like, I keep taking me off guard. God damn it. He was getting dragged to the money.
Yo, he didn't know the rewind was gonna work either. So he probably for a split second really thought he was gonna die right there.
So bro,
and he was scared because he was like, and I think it goes back to what I said earlier. It's not actually him living on, it's just his quirk. So part of him was like, no, I'm gonna die, and I didn't even get to actually be the demon lord.
Well, there is people that want Eri to get killed because of sex. Nigga, what?
Honestly,
man,
some of y'all don't. Some of y'all don't need to be teachers, boy. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Some y'all don't need to be around children.
If we kill Eri, we'll have. They're like, oh, if we have Eri dead, then the story will have stakes for sure. And I'm like, motherfucker, I died with her down the hallway. Come on, like it don't gotta do all that.
What do you want more? What do you want more of the kid? Literally, the guy, the villain OG, has her quirk. What do you want more?
You know what's crazy about this everything, bro? Like this happens literally every time something happens to somebody. Like it don't end. It don't end, bro. Like niggas think she's the answer to everything. It hasn't happened yet. I've been saying this for years. It hasn't happened yet, bro. She has not been used like that yet.
Bro, these niggas are like all for one in the worst way possible. It's like, all right, my crackpot theory didn't work, my stupid theory didn't work here. But if I take this way around, it reach around this way.
Bro, theory
works, but it's like, bro,
I'm tired, bro. I'm really tired of hearing about Eri, bro. Like it's been years of just hearing about Eri, like, and it has not happened. Like it has yet to happen in the story, bro.
Literally just thinking about it. You know what I mean? Eri was the first time that she was shown. Okay, I killed that. Some people started to get scared, but Horikoshi always showed that he used her the right way. Always the right way. Right now, he even gave her that card that the heroes could use. He gave that to All for One. Man, what do you want more of him?
So I'm about to bust this shit wide open so we can move on. And I'm gonna leave everybody. I'm gonna leave everybody with this.
You know what I want? I just want to know. You know how to stop All for One. You just have to shoot All for One with one of the bullets of Eri's blood. If somebody can be that hero, I will be a happy man.
So I'm gonna ask this: are y'all actually a fan of these theories, or are you just saying it's a possibility? And you're saying it's just a possibility, like the shit they're talking about, the Aries shit, all this other shit that don't happen, and they keep consistently getting proven wrong. Are y'all a fan of these theories, or are you just acknowledging it's a possibility? And then with that, on top of that, based off your answer this: does Horikoshi make bad writing decisions, or are you not a fan of the execution? Because there's a difference. So with that being said, reflect on that, everybody else, and we moving on.
Okay, like I said, what do you think about it, Aniki? And guys, like that's the
bullet.
The Aries bullet being used on All for One, because I don't know how they will survive that situation without that.
Yeah, right Snipe better kill this motherfucker. Snipe the goat.
I've been waiting for the QEBs to get utilized because like the thing that I find interesting is that, like we talked about earlier, is that in this series, the heroes tend to get their most successful moments when they operate like villains.
Yes.
Like when Endeavor was like, time to just murder All for One and just blast him with as much big, high quality fire as possible until he's dead. Yes. He started winning. it don't matter because of what All For One just did here. But you know, he was starting to win. Like
That then went full Superman on this figure, literally lasering with eyes, his fire from his eyes and everything. Man,
I'm pretty sure he also specifically burned the hand that All For One reached out to Shigaraki, because you know how Hori loves to be very specific and which hands do what and get destroyed.
Yes, he did it. That was the right hand.
He did
That was
mention
the right hand.
he did mention how that hand ruined so many lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, that was the right hand. That was the right hand. Yes.
So at this point, y'all, so we're just gonna talk about how they live, all right? So I think Hawk's gonna get caught as the body, but you're right, because everybody worried about the wrong things, to be honest. So Hawk's gonna get caught as a body, right? But I feel like it like I said earlier, All For One is not bloodthirsty like Shigaraki. He's not that step, like he's like he
All right. Damn. I gotta say, with Tony America coming through.
Damn.
It said, I feel like Bakugou is a bully and deserved it. 10 out of 10.
God damn.
After the reflection, though. After the reflection,
yeah.
Okay. So damn. So with All For One, I feel like he gonna spin a block, but he finna spin a block back. He gonna clap Hawks from the back, right? And he gonna flex.
Honestly, I'd be weak if he took Hawks' quirk. Because you know, there was that one time during their fight, he was like, Hawks, you've been reduced to such an ordinary pleb. Like, he violated him. He was like, you're nobody no more. And we know he could take wing quirks because he took bat no move quirk with Shigaraki.
That would be kind of.
So if he took Hawks' quirk and grew some wings, some fierce wings.
Oh
shit!
Just
flew away. He don't even need that because he can already fly.
Bro, he gonna be an angel, but we're not sure if he can fly as yet because we don't know how far back his thing, because he's just floating right now.
Yeah.
And this could be for dramatic effect too, because he's still in the sky. You know, you got some air hang time type beat, so we don't know how he gonna be moving exactly.
Some of these quirks, I think he would have had some. Like, I think it's fair to assume that he would have had some form of flight at any point in his career, just because that's one of the classic powers. You know, that almost always pops up.
Well,
like if you watch this,
he sort of has it in Camino. Like it's the quirk where like it looks like he's hanging from an invisible noose.
Yeah,
you know what I realized? Like,
yeah.
Have we ever seen somebody like an MHA like really, besides like the birds, the straight up fly? Like,
no, we actually
Captain Celebrity, but
not even then he got his. It's a trick. It's a catch 22 shit, because it's like a trick. So it's just like we thought
like,
it was like that at first.
I think Furuhashi screwed up with Captain Celebrity at first because he implies he's like Superman, and Horikoshi was probably like, scale that down, you know, make it.
No, I think I honestly I like that because I think it was meant to be like that, because at the same time it's also like a beat of like, oh, like, you know, like it's also a beat of like, oh,
I haven't read it in a while, so maybe I'm not giving him enough credit.
Because the court was like, oh, it's not what we thought. Like everybody thought he was like superhero, like, oh, he's on this and the other. Like, but then it's like, oh, this is the real trick to his quirk.
But so, you know, there's only one person who can change the tide of this war right now. There's only one person who can save the day.
Gento.
Nope, Koichi.
I want my Skycrawler.
Yeah.
I need my Skycrawler.
Mello,
There's something I want to address though.
Mello, put the TV down, Mello. Don't throw the TV, Mello, please.
The final conclusion of how Captain Celebrity's quirk works is actually more in line with certain perspectives on Superman's powers than the initial take, because there is some arguing that because Superman does things like holding up planes and stuff, that his power is technically also like a bit psionic, in that it has to like on some level be protecting what he's pushing in order to justify him not just flying through it.
The boy sort of draws attention to this with Homelander, because he's like, I can't lift up the plane. There's nothing but air. So
yeah.
What the fuck Koichi gonna do? I'm being so serious.
Hey, bro. Hey, you didn't read the chapter before last.
I ain't gonna lie, he not doing nothing to Shigaraki. I stand on that.
What? No. Everybody on Shigaraki feel dead. We need somebody to stop. We need somebody
the
to
other
tour.
fields, bro.
We need somebody to tour with Prime All For One.
Exactly.
Prime All
For
One.
Listen, I'm gonna keep it a stat. I'm not an All For One stand, but if you want to keep it a buck, he wanted that quirk since Vigilantes.
Yeah, let Koichi let Koichi hit him with a couple Shooty-Go blends. Because the other thing is the awful ones.
Those would be hard too.
Because like my thing is just that like the peak Shooty-Go blend that Koichi has is a problem. Like it's a propulsive kinetic force blast that's like a pinpoint thing that'll. And you saw them punches that he was throwing out that was blowing holes.
Homeboy stopped playing. Homeboy helped playing.
For me, Koichi top speed. Koichi can be as fast as Bakugou right now if you really want.
Deku's coming through with the super chat asking, well, speaking of heroes, are y'all watching Superhero? I'm actually going to go see that tonight.
I watched it. I watched it. Great movie. Great movie. I'm gonna hit a bit of the. I'm a bit ahead of the cut just for you, my boy.
My local theater chain has half price Tuesdays, so I'm just going Tuesday. So.
Hey.
Everyone watch that movie.
Watch it IMAX, y'all.
Exactly.
I'm seeing it in IMAX. That's why.
But yeah, all right. So I'm actually gonna pop over to anime lately soon. So what I want to do is get some around the horn final thoughts because I was actually supposed to go in there like 30 minutes ago. Whoops.
What?
But it'd be like that, you know. The discussions as long was popping, and we went 2 weeks without this. And this chapter was basically like Hori being like, by the way, fuck everything y'all thought for the past 15 chapters. Any dub you thought was a dub, forget about it. So I'm gonna start with Coyote. Let's get your final thoughts.
All right. So mainly, I'm just excited that we're finally getting to the other fields. We've been spending too long on All for One and Shigaraki's field. So now that we're finally getting to Uraraka's field, we're gonna see a lot more deaths. I got Uraraka dying, Ida dying, Sarah and other fuckers. But I think the most exciting part is if we don't go to a new field next week, we're definitely seeing All for One Schlong next week, and that's what I'm excited about.
This nigga, the horny.
You was at for Miracle Cheeks.
Man, I don't want to see Mirko.
Man, somebody saw Fish tearing up his poster and they was like, he caked up. So
the disrespect, it was crazy.
Oh, but I'm sure you probably got a couple followers off of that. So hey, it worked out. Ponzu, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. What can I say? Great chapter. Great chapter. Literally, we get everything that we wanted. Bakugou stays dead. Writing process is cool. We got the comeback of the Hell Lord, Dabi, burning niggas over everywhere. What can you ask more? What can you ask for that just repercussions, actions, yet after actions, you see some stuff, and I'm happy to see that, to see them all unfold. So right now, I can't wait to see what's happening with the Alpha One. Alpha One butt naked trying to rape all the other nigger there's. Literally, I don't know. Look who shot his is the bird guy. Hawks. Look at his eyes. He call him Alpha One. Seeing him butt naked. Oh brother. Oh, I don't know what he's gonna do first. I like what someone in the chat said that the first person that he wanted to be able to kill, it will be Jiro. Imagine that guy going after Jiro.
Chill. I ain't gonna lie though. Just off respect, he might. Just cause she hit him with something.
He's petty. So yo, I don't know where it's going. I'm really happy that right now the war feels like uncertain, but in a good way. Before I was not sure if Horikoshi was bringing the war in a good path, but right now, hey, after the death of Bakugou, it's everything is uncertain, but in a good way. Stakes are there. We can see people die. We can see people survive. We all want to see Deku being the Goku in. We'll see if he will be a Goku in these situations. Look at us making theories and stuff. So yeah. It's fun. I can't wait to see what's happening next. And if I can be there next week, I'll be gladly to be there. See you guys. Mwah.
All right, let's go with Tarnish.
Listen, man. My biggest fear was that we were gonna stay with Shigaraki and that shit was gonna get more crazy. I'm like, listen, I need some other stuff. I just need some other stuff, man. I'm good. I'm satisfied. Just confirm that Bakugou death. You know what I'm saying? Now listen. From now on, if y'all want to talk about Bakugou coming back, let it be just that, him coming back. He is dead. You know what I'm saying? No pulse, heart ravaged.
That's worse than the scan said. The officials actually went a little harder on that. So it's even more confirmed here. Like, if you think he's gonna get revived somehow, that's another story. That's a whole different topic. But he is dead, like my nigga Ponzu said. Like right now, ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Everything else though, I'm so happy Dabi is back. Like, I like Shoto versus Dabi. I like the art. I like the way Dabi was talking to him. I like the way Shoto was talking to him. It had good dialogue. It had good art. But that 2 chapters for that big of a conflict, it wasn't really hitting like that. I was like, damn, like Dabi's done like that. He's not done. He got back up. He's continuing where he left off. Literally, he didn't even. It was. This is one of the craziest bounce backs I think the community is seeing, because people knew that Dabi was gonna do something. Well, some people knew, because some people thought he was just done. But he bounced back like this with Phosphor Zero. He literally did Shoto's move. Nobody said that. Like, I don't think anybody predicted this happening. Like, at least like not entirely. It's like we knew something was happening with him. Like, we knew something, but to fully copy his move and to kill some sidekicks off rip, like he's fully back in that action, crazy. And he's still looking for Endeavor. We forgot to say this too, me and East, but he has a way to get to Endeavor. Like, even without Kurogiri, I don't even know like if they're expecting that to happen fully. Like, that might just be like a side plan that they want to do. But like, whether it be that Nomu or Makia or him just flying with that flash fire, he will find a way to get to Endeavor. And All For One knows that Dabi wants Endeavor, so he might get saved off that. There are other people there for All For One to kill. Shout out to Skeptic. Shout out to the traders at UA, because a lot of people thought that plot line was done. I said, there are still civilian traders. I was like, there are still civilian traders. We literally saw them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're still around. That's going to happen. And we know they have underground routes. That got brought back. I was waiting for that to come back, because I was like, wait, like, how are these routes going to get used if, UA is in the sky? But they still got the routes going on. They got the hideouts. Going to be some civilian conflict going on. Man, I'm excited for everything happening, man. I need longer chapters still. And listen, I'm all for Hori's health, but listen, these 13 pages, it's killing me. It's killing me, man. I need more. But I'm just, we don't got no break, so we're gonna be back next week. Good things to unfold. That's all I got.
All right. Fish.
What's going on? It's your boy Almighty Fish Mix. You know what? This is how you do a war. Not like that little goofy pirate manga a lot of you guys like reading and talking about. This is a real war, real stakes, real tension, peak fiction, okay? So we got Naked All For One now. I'm gonna sit back and just take it if that's what it is, because I have been running my mouth about Miracle. I don't want to see my baby go, but it is what it is if it happens. Shout out to Dabi for real. That's one of the things we really should have talked about more too, because if we really do get a Dabi versus Endeavor fight, I do see Endeavor getting not folded. Let me stop using the word folded. It's going to be a good fight, but Endeavor's not winning that. Dabi's he's burning too hot right now. So I'm excited to see that as well. I'm also expecting like a Shigaraki versus All For One fight, because if All For One's truly in his prime, I don't know who here is going to be able to stop him besides maybe Deku, if that. But Deku has to handle Shigaraki. So this war itself is just insane to me right now. And I don't know what to say, man. I'm getting everything I want every single chapter. Every single chapter. I'm just eating good with MHA. So until next week, I didn't even know there's no break. So this is perfect. This is how you do a war. That's all I got to say.
All right. And you're right, because when you look at it, no, I'm not even going to say it. I might say it afterwards. We're gonna talk about this when we do that Wano space. We definitely doing a Wano space tomorrow. We doing one. Sure. Because I don't hate Wano as much as like you do, but I definitely feel like there's some stuff that was just hard fumbled, and Act 2 is an embarrassment to me. So, but yeah, let's go to let's see. Hold up. Oh, did tarnish Volk.
So yeah, this is like if the past 20 chapters were like a false sense of security, this is like the first real jolt. Like Horikoshi's like style is like, nah, it's not gonna be that easy. Like, because it was coming off a little too easy at first, right? But now it's like he's just changed the whole game. I really liked seeing all. Like I like revisiting like all the different sides. Like you thought, you one by one, you thought like, oh, the heroes are coming on top now. Dabi's back. He's back on his feet. He's more dangerous than ever. All for One's back in his prime. Shigaraki is continuing to just rock everybody at UA. I can hardly imagine what the other sites are like. As far as people dying, I think Ida's gonna go. I think Uraraka is like, it's gonna depend on where Horikoshi wants Deku to end up at the end of the series, because he's had his best friend go. Like if he has his girl go on top of like his mentor, All Might father figure. Yeah. I think she and Inko will be okay, but again, like Bakugou just died, so anybody goes. Anybody can go. I really dig the tension. I think there's a really good shot that he makes this one of his best arcs, possibly his best arc. And yeah, very pleased. Cannot wait for next week.
All right. Archbishop East.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. And don't worry, when the yell comes, you'll know, although we do this shit every single fucking time. So you know when I yell. So, but as of right now, I'll give y'all volume warning when it's time. But top to bottom, oh my God. I don't know, man. I guess I have to run through it piece by piece and praise every single bit from section to section. The distraughtness that wasn't talked about in Aizawa's face as he lost another student. The callbacks that I saw Alan talk about from Sports Festival to now, and how him and Bakugou have came their relationship full fold, and how you can see the growth from both characters, and how almost resentment for Class 1A because they were the star pieces compared to like fucking like now. And it's just like how he accepts himself. He was like, Vlad told him about there's no like side characters. Everybody's just the star of their own thing. And you the curtain, you the shaker, movie maker, nigga. And just like that whole thing, and Bakugou, I mean, Monoma kind of being the self-insert, the confirmation of like, he can't be dead, it can't happen like this. Like, nah, he's fucking done. And it just solidifies Bakugou's character and his death, more so very rather abruptly. So I'll speak on this the last time for Bakugou. I was watching a movie very recently. Two characters were very fond of each other, like brothers, all right? Bonded, very strong. One character died away from the other, but you would think they would die together, right? Or one in the other's arms. Even after some time and events had passed during the movie, the other character came back and seen that the one of them had died, the other one had died, which was his brother, and then the death still hit in that moment. Because you were like, yo, how is he going to react at this point? So you trying to negate or downplay Deku not being here to see Bakugou's reaction is kind of negating a lot, because honestly, you're holding on to Bakugou's character and attaching too much to Deku. And that's the issue, when he should be able to be his own man. He's not Deku's butt buddy. He's not Deku's cheerleader. He's his own fucking dog. And yeah, he has trials, tribulation, and he had his growth because of Deku, but on his own, he had to do that himself. He wasn't like, Deku, why this Deku died there? Like, he tried to grow on his own. That was the point, becoming his own self, becoming his own man. And he accomplished that, and he did that. And he died in a way that respected him as that. Him alone. If you don't like the death, that's fine. But him alone, he fucking was the only person to press Shigaraki, the only person to do what they said he couldn't do. So shouts out to Kaki Basco pouring out for a real nigga. I appreciate the death, bro. I appreciate the death, because that was a real one. So I'll run through everything else, because I know we on short on time. Yo, shout out to that motherfucking boy Dabi. We gonna really get we really gonna get to that nigga another time, bro. All I'm saying is his new form is dubbed Phosphorus Zero because of me and Tarnish. It's called Phosphorus Zero. Them niggas finna get packed the fuck up. RP to Eater, that's my dog. And I like that nigga, but RP, he on the way. Shout out to the MVP of this entire war, Skeptic. Oh my fucking God. He really is, like Tarnish said, the remnants of Redestro, the will lives on. He is the biggest reason we have all this shit going to fuck down now. And he's going to be one of the biggest support and key players in this final arc. I'm really happy he was around. And now he just gave me more hope for the advisors to be some fucking beasts and savages. And I cannot wait till they start breaking kids' arms. Sorry. I meant what I said. I cannot wait till you start beating the shit out of these kids. Because that's what me and Torrance talk about real quick. These kids, this was the last war should have been. These kids are really experiencing war. Last one was just a raid. This is war. Niggas dying in front of you. You can't stop it because the niggas already burnt their crisp on fire or already lost his limbs. This is what it needs to be about. And fucking amazing as it is. Fuck, all right. So shout out to Skeptic. Last but not least, off one for the start turning niggas around and clapping them ass cheeks. I'm sorry, bro. And this nigga really got his schlong out. So it's just gonna be he off one finna be on the battlefield. Like, I like you, I want you. Now we can do this the easy way or the hard way. I like me some quirks. I like me some man quirks. I'm like, all right, bro, hold on now. I need you to chill out, bro. Put your meat up. Put your meat up. But nah, man. All right, this is your countdown because I'm about to wrap it up. So you know what time it is. Lower your volume. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enough sophistication! Nigga, this is unlimited creation of fucking gas that I've ever experienced in my life! Woo! Fired up every week, nigga. This fuels my soul. And you niggas have no control over the fucking blasphemy, over the fucking heat accelerating beyond 2,000 degrees. It's fucking hotter than the sun, nigga. And every fucking week I have nothing but pure flames, fire, and fun. Yo, from here to there, from everywhere, all I see is gas, and flames upon the sea. And nigga, I can't even see what it's meant to be. But nothing but greatness that I can't even comprehend. But guess what?
Am I the one who East faded for?
Nah, he
It's
hyped
like-
himself out of existence, bro.
It's like that was like his most hardcore yet. Like he literally, it's like at the end of us. It was like at the end of those 2000 music videos. The music slowly fades out.
That was legendary. That was actually legendary what East just did. Like,
Thank you, Ish, for sacrificing your existence for a great send-off.
My man just vanished.
The avatar. He vanished like the avatar. He vanished like the avatar.
He became one with the Force. He just disappeared. He left nothing but a pile of clothes. It's not my time. Because in Star Wars, like you just like apparently you just decide when you die. Like you just decide when you die.
All right, y'all. Well, assuming East comes back next week, we'll all see you then.
Yeah, you there, my boy?
When he's back from orbit, we'll make sure to update you on that. Love this chapter. This is a great way to come back to it. It's only going to get crazier from here now. We got Awful One back in Prime. Clearly about to give some prime rib. We got Dabi pulling craziness out here, basically being like, I am the prodigy of this family. And we still ain't seen nothing but Toga, Uraraka, and Sue. So whatever happened over there, you know it's gonna be crazy because Hori is holding on that for a reason. Y'all better be terrified. And all that said, drop them hell Horis in the chat. I'll see you later.
Hell, Hori, nigga!
He's back!
from space.
Hey, y'all, we have love from all.